7 minutes late, y'all. I apologize about that. Welcome to the Sugar Ray Shack. I'm Sugar Ray, your host. We got the Black Grease. Woo!
I'm a revelator. Come with me. You wanna meet your maker. You gotta believe. I'm a freak of nature. I ain't no honeybee. I'm an unknown creature. The likes you've never seen. Wahoo, wahoo. Wahoo, wahoo. Wahoo, wahoo. Wahoo, wahoo. I'm like a Cape Crusader, sweeping up the streets. I'm your favorite flavor, savory and sweet. You're looking for a savior, or to believe. Think you found the traitor, but you don't see
Yes,
me.
these fuckers bump around. How's it out West Coast, from East Coast? Coast to Eddie, how you doing, Superfly Devil Dog? Every Saturday. Barbara Williams. What is Barbara Williams? You said that first? Don Cerrone. Look like you're beautiful. Big Red, Milwaukee in the house. 45 degrees of melting snow. I see you, Teddy.
Straight no chaser, follow my lead. I'm the great debaser. I got what you need. Take the elevator and come with me. No time for haters, no good deed. Wahoo, 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 wahoo. No, I ain't your preacher. 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 No, I ain't your preacher.
Blew me off. Got all kind of technical difficulties trying to happen today, but that's all right because Sugar is the Black Wizard of Oz. I'm the Black Wizard of Oz. I've learned to figure it out because of Eric. He taught me everything. How is everybody doing? Blessings on you, man. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope you got your shot so we can get back out and do what us musicians like to do. Y'all holding us up. So if you know somebody that ain't got their shot, that won't get their shot, you get a rope and you drag their butt down there while they're unconscious and give them a vaccine shot. I'm not promoting violence. I'm not promoting violence. Beat them across the head and make them take a shot. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Hey, the question of today. I was thinking about this a lot, and we always ask a crazy question. I always ask a crazy question the other day, but this is I'm gonna say this is an OG question. I want to know, first of all, always remember, put up where you're from over there because there's people listening all over the world and commenting all over the world. They want to know where you're from. Secondly, what I want to know is, what was the first concert, live concert? I'm not talking about no TV. I'm not talking about no Mickey Mouse channel. What was your first live concert? Where was it and who was it? That's the question of the day. Where and who was your first live concert? Now, if it was at church or it was in the backyard, that's fine. We just want to know who. I got two great guys. They call themselves the Black Greek. They used to have a band, if I'm not making them, I hope I'm not doing it wrong, back in the 60s and 70s called the Capitol Homeboys. It's a cats out of the Sacramento area. Well, they're from all over, but Sacramento area moved down to LA and just destroyed and took over the Los Angeles scene. It's also one of these cats is also the very reason, one of the very reasons that things happened to me the way they did through LA and everything that happened. And I'm glad to have his butt on here. He just had a birthday. He turned 39 the other day. That's what we're gonna say. He turned 39 the other day. But we call him the Slide God. The other cat is just an unbelievably talented musician. Plays everything, harmonica, keyboards. I've known him with Slash and those guys, Monsters Ball. I got some stuff with him and Carol King and a whole bunch of other people. We ain't gonna blow too much smoke up behind this. I respect these cats and I love these cats. Matter of fact, I think he played with Walter Trout off and on right now. And he has another band that he plays with too. I can't think of the name of it right now. And for a long time, he was with I think it's called the Boxheads, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute, who was that? Wait a minute, Teddy. Let me unmute you. Who was that, Teddy? With Billy Bob Thornton. Thank you. I'm getting the Boxheads, right? The Box Masters. I knew I was getting it wrong. You telling me, let me know right there. And well, Billy Bob coming over and getting our lawnmower man on me. You know, I ain't scared. I ain't scared. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But let me pull something up. I wanted to see. First, I'm gonna pull up Teddy. This is my buddy Teddy. He's gonna be one of the guests today. This is him with Guns N' Roses. I think they in Paris. Check it out.
Mr. Teddy. This next song features
The
Mr.
Fifth Dimension.
Teddy, Zigzag, Big Bag, Andreadis, the Greek on the harmonica. And features the Goyles, the 976 horn section. And Mr. Slash on the Travis Bean.
Teddy, I like the horn section. All right, Teddy, when I bring you up, we got to talk about this outfit. He never came around. He got a weird flag and some of the guys came around. I never saw that for all those years. talking about it. We're talking about it.
That obsession, it's always messing, it's always messing with mine.
Teddy, Zigzag, Andreadis. Andreadis, I'm always getting it wrong. He's weak, for God's sake. But he's a bad mother. Thank you for being here, Chef. We'll talk to you later. Evelyn, get your mind out together.
It's always messing with mine. That obsession, it's always messing with mine. So bad.
No, you don't like my wardrobe? Julie, I just want what I feel. We're in the pandemic, ain't wearing an old suit, put on a nice jacket, one of my million hats. Oh, thank you, Bernie. That's pretty cool. Matter of fact, that was Teddy Zigzag Teabag, they call him sometimes, but we just call him Teddy Z is what I call him. And it used to kill me. We'd be in the middle of a show somewhere. Usually a couple times I played with him at the Baked Potato. We'd be in the middle of a show, and I'm in the middle of something singing, and he had his keyboard set up with all these freaking sounds. And then I don't know if you remember that movie Blazing Saddles. I'd be in the middle of like some good slow blues, my baby, I'm just throwing down, and out of blue in the background, I hear, where the white women at? He's just kind of like, what the hell? I'm like, what the? He had a program for Blazing Saddles. He just put a button to be like, where the white women at? In the middle of stuff. I was just like, anyway, I love those guys. They were crazy. Again, the question of the day, and it does not have to be somebody famous. I just want to know, Who was the first person you saw in concert and where was it? Who and where? And remember, when you're posting, we want to know where you're from. I see we already got Scotland, we got Wales, we got Ireland, and a bunch of places across the United States. We want to know where you're from, what's going on. Christina Beer, Canada in the house, Vancouver to be exact. Alan Vega, how you doing? We just here to have a good time. I want to play one from Chuck, and I don't have a one, but I want to play one that's dear to me. This is the first iteration of the Sugar Ray River Band. Matter of fact, at that time, we called it Sugar Ray and the CK All-Stars. And this is a little concert we did. I think it was like either our first or second show. I can't even remember. But check this out. I mean, this is a long time ago, Chuck, so don't be embarrassed. Whatever you played is going to be played. I mean, got Gary Miller. We got Gary Miller, Chuck. I forgot. I can't think of his name.
Don't you love those horns? Don't you love the horns? I like horns, baby. Sound good, fellas. Listen. Walk down a nightclub. It's too late. What the quiet about my car? Landing up between two buildings. We're gonna be alright. They took their little fool home. They gonna be here tonight. She said, sugar.
That's Chuck Kavooras, y'all, aka the Slide God, the owner of Slide Away Studios, and the gentleman that produced my very first album. Uh, and I'm very happy. I had a certain thing in my mind going in, but I'm happy the way the album turned. Big Al Walker. Oh shit, Big Al's in the house. Oh good lord. Oh, that's trouble. And we'll bring him on the screen another day. That's trouble with a capital T right there. Anyway, you know what? Without further ado, let me just bring. I got more videos, but let me just bring these guys up because we're gonna be here a while. I got a feeling, and they backstage. So let me make sure you got your clothes on, guys. I'm about to bring you live here. Make sure you ain't bucket naked. You ready? Here we go. There they are, ladies.
There we are.
Chuck Kavooras, Teddy Zigzag, Andreadis, the Black Greeks, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh. Wait, question I want to know is, what's the whole deal with the Black Greeks?
Teddy?
Chuck, we're Greek and we love black music.
He Teddy said he was in New York on the Conan show or something, and Vivino had a band. Jimmy Vivino had a band called the Black Italians.
Black Italian, so, right?
Oh. We just kind of lifted it. So
yeah.
There's not a the Black Italians.
The Black Italians, yeah.
Black Italians, the Black Greeks, right on. First of all, Chuck, let me talk to you first. I want to say, man, first of all, just thank you, brother. Thank you for everything you did for me when I came to LA. And actually before LA, I mean, I met you back in the days of One Kizzy's Boys. You had produced, I think you produced Trunk Full of Blues, and that was a great album and everything. We wound up taking second place in the IBC, and then some years later, I wound up coming to LA and trying to do things. I didn't know nobody. Because LA was never my stomping ground. I just didn't like the city. Just wasn't my thing. But I met great cats like you and Teddy, Hank Van Sickle, Malabar. You guys. The great thing is I didn't know who you guys were. You guys didn't know me from Adam, but you guys always treated me like I was one of the cats and treated me with respect. And literally, because of you guys, I got my first commercial, I got my first theater gig, I got my first everything. And so I want to make sure, as I told Chuck the other night, while you guys are still alive, because a lot of times I don't get to see these things. When we were on the road, Ted, the last time, there was so much going on. We were out with Walter. I wasn't like I had a chance to pull you aside. So I want to tell both of you from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because you didn't have to do it. And it was really cool that you did. And it's been too damn long. It's been 12 years. I should have said this many years ago, but let me say it now, that I appreciate it and thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You're one of a kind there, Sugar Ray. That's for sure.
Yeah, and not too many old black men running around no more. I know.
Yeah.
So, all right, Teddy. Right now, I know that you playing off and on with Walter. You got a couple projects going. You want to talk about
playing
that
with him?
second?
Yeah, I'm playing with him now. I've been with him for about a year and a half. So
okay,
we just released Ordinary Madness last year, and we're gonna go into the studio in May with Eric again and do a brand new record. Walter's in Denmark writing all these songs, so he's gonna come back here. Everybody's vaccinated, so everybody's gonna get together. And
are you guys fully vaccinated?
I am. Walter is, and I believe Mike is, and Johnny's the youngest, so he's in Sweden, so he's trying to work that out. But yeah,
okay.
But
right on.
Yeah, the last time I saw you was last year at that festival, that blues.
Yeah, somewhere on the East Coast that we were.
Yeah, Virginia, I think it was in the hotel in Virginia.
Was it Virginia?
Something like that, Virginia or North Carolina, in that hotel.
Yeah. There's a photo because we all sitting around some table.
Yeah,
or something. That's
pretty
cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, later that night, did you go with us? It was me, Walter, and a couple people. We went to that sushi slash.
Oh yeah, no, I went. I
you went to bed. We walked across the road. There was some place that was selling like they sold Korean, Chinese, Japanese food, and Mexican food. I was like, the hell? I was like, hey, I expect to see that in New Orleans. I didn't expect to see that in Virginia. So that kind of blew me away. Chuck, you've owned Slide Away Studio. You've done more albums than I can shake a stick at. Actually, I want to say thank you for getting me on that Bugs Henderson album. Since then, I've gone and read quite a bit about Bugs, and he was a bad cat.
I was gonna pop up your first album I did here. Here it is. There it is. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Your first album. We did the Truck Full of Blues before that. We did your other fourth album here. This one's
Did Chuck record Aunt Kizzy's Boys? Did he ever do Aunt Kizzy's Boys?
Yeah, Truck Full of Blues. The Truck Full of Blues, that album, he recorded that. That's how I met Chuck. Actually, I met you, Chuck, before that. You came in and set in, I think, at some little show in San Diego. Because Jimmy knew who you were.
This guy's who brought us together, Jimmy King.
Jimmy King.
This record here, but believe it or not, just got picked up on some blues channel. It's got 200,000 views now, and this one of Jimmy's songs is just getting the shit played out of it.
Is that his tribute to Peter Green, When the Blues Are Green album?
Yeah, it's called When the Blues Are Green. This was a really Ralph Carter's on it, Tos Panos. It's a great album. Real proud of this one too. It's one of the first records I did here in the early 2000s. You know,
I saw Jimmy when I was out with Billy Bob. We were in Texas, and Jimmy came to the show with his wife.
Oh, did he?
Right.
How's he doing, man?
Yeah, it was great. Great to see him.
I heard from him once in a blue moon. Yeah, he moved out to my neck of the woods in East Texas, not too far from where I grew up.
Yeah.
He's in Beaumont,
man.
He's near Tyler, Texas. He's in Beaumont. I'm out of focus here. Sorry, getting used to this camera thing. So I moved my computer into the studio. I was in the kitchen the other day, Sugar. So you see my camera.
Well, we need to get a little more light on you.
Yeah, a little more light.
Yeah, sorry.
You kind of look like a black Greek right now.
I can turn on the light across the room. Here, how's this? Yeah, a little. There we go. How's that?
There you go.
The ghoul. No.
Well, that's better. I mean, because it's pretty dark in the studio.
I need some light on that side. Sorry. Hang on a second. I'll turn to this one. Hold on.
All right. You got the mood all set in the studio.
What the fuck's he doing?
Who knows? This is Chuck we're talking about.
I didn't have my lighting director. That's better, right? A little better?
A little better.
That's better.
That's from across the room. Sorry.
Well, happy birthday, first of all, brother. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Another year past the sun, you know.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
No doubt.
To be here. You know?
Really, that's the real one.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it. After Pam has fought this cancer back in remission, she went back to work because she just loves what she does. But I really didn't want her to come back to LA, man. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was bad. And I tried to stay. We always say I tried to stay away like they had the plague. Well, I stayed away because they really did have the plague. I'm kind of way out here in the country, but I'm glad you two are okay, and hopefully all those around you guys are okay.
Yeah, we try to stay as safe as possible. I'm a big advocate of wearing your mask. Wear your glove. Take. Clean your hands. Sanitize. We'll get through it. But we all have to do the right thing. If you get half the country not social distancing, we're never going to get rid of it. So
I agree.
We all got to do it. The quicker we do it, the quicker we can start playing again.
Yeah, we got to convert the people that don't believe it. They think it's still a hoax or something.
I don't advocate violence, but we're gonna have to go in the house, beat them across the head like Fred Flintstone and drag them down. They're already
it's like unbelievable.
I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking.
Slap them across the head. Yeah.
Right.
Just joking. So you guys, are you both originally from Sacramento or?
No, I'm from New Jersey originally.
Right. Chuck, you from where? Oklahoma? Not Oklahoma.
I'm from Chicago. I'm Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago, and then Oklahoma City is where I started playing guitar in the early '60s. And, I think my first concert was either the Yardbirds or Johnny Rivers. That's how far I go back.
Wow.
And then Mitch Ryder, Detroit Wheels. I saw all those guys in Oklahoma City. I had some great teachers back there. The guitar playing was just treacherous back then.
Who was in the Yardbirds when you saw them?
The first time was the original band.
Wow.
And it was, and then 2 years later I saw him again. And the second time Jimmy Page was playing bass. He
playing bass.
All cymbals. Yeah, he had the Sgt. Pepper outfit on and the jacket, and he was playing bass. just to be on tour. He wanted to get out of the studios in the UK.
Right.
But we didn't know who he was. Led
Right.
Zeppelin didn't exist yet. He was,
Yeah, right.
And he took over the Yardbirds. But I saw that band, and it was great. It was Jeff Beck was a big hero back then, and
Yeah.
but we saw a lot of R&B bands back then. I saw Eddie Floyd and God, a bunch of horn bands and stuff like that. Sam and Dave.
Didn't Beck come into the gig one night? Didn't he come in with Oriente, or did she come in with somebody else?
I don't know. I've sat next to him at the Baked Potato a couple times. He was friends.
I worked with him at the rock camp, and actually I got a chance to sing "Superstition" with him.
Oh wow!
Right on.
Yeah. We did a version of it with Kip Winger on bass and Danny Serafin from Chicago on drums.
Wow!
And we did a.
Well, people, y'all don't know what Teddy. You brought that up. Explain to the folks what that's all about. The rock camp.
It's just it's like a baseball camp. But you get a chance to play with your rock and roll heroes, whoever whether it be Steven Tyler, John Popper, Judas Priest, whoever. They'll have the matter of fact. There's a documentary out right now. It's called Rock Camp the Movie, and you can get it on Apple and any of the streaming platforms. But it's a music school, and for any age group. And most of the time, you get lawyers, doctors, people that were a musician early in life, and then decided, well, I can't make enough money at it. They go and they become doctors, lawyers, or CEOs, and they come back to camp, and they want to be in a band again. And so it's my job to put a band together and teach them to play, and we actually perform at the Roxy, the Troubadour, the Whiskey.
Yeah, I know y'all used to do the House of Blues over there until
we used to do House of Blues. Yeah. Then we used to travel. I remember.
Well, that's new because when I met you guys weren't traveling. It was all just based.
We did a couple of like tours of the camp where we'd go to Dallas, Texas for a weekend. Then we go to Florida. It got to be a little bit expensive, and I think so. But we haven't done anything now for the last year and a half. But I've done some online classes, with the camp. But that's what it is basically. It's a fun weekend to rock and roll, to let your hair down.
Right on.
Yeah.
Roger
Go to the
Daltrey,
movie, see the movie.
Right.
Rock Camp the movie.
Roger Daltrey, other big.
Roger Daltrey. Oh yeah, Roger Daltrey,
Tyler.
Todd Rundgren. I got a chance to sing Roadhouse Blues with the Doors 21st Century Band with Robbie Krieger and Phil Chen. So
that's what I recorded my last two albums, and I must say he came in, and I met the cat Bobby Krieger over at
Horse Latitude.
Thank you, Horse Latitude, and he was a really nice cat, man.
Oh yeah,
But you know me, I don't know anybody, so I treat everybody with respect. So it was up to you guys. So people would come in. I remember the night that Slash had came in one night to the jam, and Teddy, I don't know if you was playing that night because Chuck always changed the band, and we played.
I could have been there. I could have been there. It might have been a little bit of this going on.
Oh, well, I just remember Chuck coming up to me on one of the breaks telling me that Slash was upset because we didn't call him up or something. I'm like, I don't know who he is. I've only met him like one time. And at this time, he had gained a little weight. And I said, that's what I told Chuck. I said, God damn it, Chuck. From now on, when these rock giants come in here, these guys. Please point them out. I don't know nobody. I'm just looking over the guy. He's just a guy in leather pants. I don't know who he is. It's like...
He came in another night with Jim Carrey. Remember, Teddy?
You're right.
We did Black
Carey.
Betty and
Black Betty
here. And
Black. We did. That's right.
Old Black Betty. Right.
Somebody came up and said Jim Carrey want to sing. Jim Carrey wants to sing. I saw him there. I saw him come in with Slash, and I was like, okay, but he can do whatever he wants as long as it be the blues.
There's some videos of that out there. There's some people filmed.
And he came up and did Old Black Betty, and I was shocked. I mean, I know the guy's talented, but I was shocked. He did a good job, man. Ram Jam, Old Black Betty.
That's right.
I was like, wow.
Not an easy song, by the way. Not an easy song to learn.
I even grabbed the mic and backed him up because I could, I was standing back like if it's gonna be a train wreck, I'm gonna be over here next to the Pussycat Dolls or somebody. I ain't going over there.
That's right. That girl from the Pussycat Dolls was there.
No, they used to come. They came a total of 3 times I know of.
Yeah.
And sometimes there was one girl, but a lot of times it was like three of them. Because
Yeah.
I tried to get them over on stage a couple times. They was like, "No, we just here to jam." Because everybody was there then, though.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, Bobby Brown, Tommy Davidson,
Yeah.
all these big stars, actors. Everybody started coming to the jam. You know, it was great.
Vivian
Yeah, it was-
Campbell.
That was a great. That was what, Monday nights. You used to do that.
Monday nights.
That was the spot, man.
3
That was
years.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
I used to go down there and have a couple cocktails, and then
Cocktails.
a couple cocktails, and let's go. Here we go, Sugar Ray,
Man,
Superman.
I wonder, have you guys seen Big Mike? Remember Big Mike? He was the guy that was supposedly the manager at that time, the brother. I used to get upset because
I
Mo,
haven't seen that.
not Big Mike,
Yeah, Mo.
I used to get upset because the place would be packed. The
Yeah.
coaches would only hold like I think he was
hundred.
only supposed to get like 8. I don't even think he was supposed to put that many in there. We would put that many in there. I mean, people would be all back. It would be packed all the way back past the pool table.
All the way in the back, man.
Yeah. I remember a few times they just moved the damn tables and people set Indian style on the floor. I'm trying to remember. I remember when Honey Boy Edwards came through, and I remember when you introduced me to Al Cooper. Because I was so shocked that he gave me all those songs and allowed me to record those songs on Blind Alley. You know, when he sent that to you for me, I was like, Chuck, like, hey man, I just got this from Cooper, man. He's got all these songs on the CDs. Like, you can record any of these. I'm like, damn, really?
Right? Yeah. I asked him to sit in, and he said only if there's a B3. And you and I looked at each other and said, where are we going to get a B3? So I called J-Mo, and he had Finnegan's B3, and you interviewed Mike recently, and so we rented Finnegan's B3, brought it down. And I was like, okay. Then Jadina picked him up, and she brought him down. She was his chauffeur that night, and he just played whatever we played. He was great. He just sat right in and had a good time.
Yeah. I forgot that he sat in on B3 on that show. I always forget that.
Yeah, we did Death Letter and a couple other things. It's on your channel, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, then we did.
That was a great time, man. I mean, even if you were outside in the front on the sidewalk, you could be grooving.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, I remember the night
you played right in the window, there.
Right in the window.
Yeah, our butts were in the window.
I remember the night that somebody called the police on us, and the cops came. They walked in, and the place was packed. And I forget. I think it was Dave Morgan, Malabar, but we had all these other. I mean, there were some guys from the Dramatics there. Because first all the rock guys started coming, then all the soul guys started coming. It was mixed.
Right.
We were getting like, I know that the bass player, that one kid from the Barge, and all these cats were in this club, and so the cops came in, and I don't know why people thought that I owned the joint. But they pulled me aside, like blah blah blah. I say, okay, we'll try to keep it down, and blah blah blah. The funny thing about it, I don't know if you know this, Teddy. Chuck probably will. He'll remember this when I say it. The funny thing about it, 2 weeks later, those same two cops came back in civilian clothes with their wives and stayed and party with us all night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, where else could you go in LA and see guys that you normally pay $150 for free?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was everybody played there too. All the blues guys played there.
But I mean, we had all the blues guys there, but we had all these. I mean, because of you guys, we had all these huge rock guys. And it was crazy. I remember Oriente had just signed, I think, with Epic. He came in that night.
No.
Was that?
No, that guy.
We were Teddy and I met in the late '80s, and we had a band called the Capital Homeboys.
Right.
With Jimmy Z and Vince Bilbro and Jimmy Gregory, God bless his soul. He's gone now.
Wait a minute. Jimmy Z came down with you guys? You guys go back that far?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy and I go back to Sacramento. When he was 15, he was sitting there with me at Shire Road Pub. And he was stuck through the back door.
Wow.
For all you guys that don't know, Jimmy Z is one of the premier harmonica / saxophone players. I know him, kind of came about him with Etta. I saw him a few times with Etta, and then he played this mega
Eurythmics, Rod Stewart,
and all that stuff. Actually, Jimmy Z's on my first album.
Story. Yeah,
he's on Blind Alley, is he not?
He's on some of the record. Yeah, he played sax on the Al Cooper ballad, right? Or that one. We had everybody. We had
Yeah.
21 guys on that album. It was like I hired all of LA to play on your first album.
Yeah,
Like
you did.
all the musicians
I
were
can't-
eating that money.
That was a good thing,
I-
Sugar, about you making a record. We all had a job. We all could
Yeah.
work. Sugar
You
Ray's
got-
making another record. Oh, good, we got a chance to play.
You guys
It's literally
did
21 21 guys on that record. Yeah.
You remember who all they were, Chuck?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could just go through it. So everybody
Come on.
from JT, Gary Malaber, Ralph Carter, Brian Head. No, yeah, he was on Death Letter. Luke
Yeah.
Castro. We did.
Luke Castro, right?
Jim
We
Bogart?
had.
Yeah.
Jeff Paris played on keys on some of it. Phil Parlapiano on Blind Alley with Gary and
Did
Ralph.
Tim Bogart?
The horns.
Yeah, Tim
Bogart
did
played
Death Letter
bass.
with-
God bless him on
Yeah.
Death Letter. Yeah, he came in and played bass. And God, we had who else played? Jimmy King played rhythm on the song that Luke Castro brought in. The guy he plays with, Arthur Adams.
Arthur Adams, right.
Yeah, we had
I forgot that.
we had a wonderful
forgot about
clarinet
Arthur
player
Adams.
who I'd never seen since, but he came in and played on Overnight Sensation. He just destroyed it. It was wonderful.
Oh yeah,
They
the
gave
guy
him
from
this-
the clarinet. What do you like the Los Angeles Philharmonic or something?
Yeah, he was great. He came in and said, "What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Here's the idea." It's kind of, and he was like Al, the guy from New Orleans, Al, who's the clarinet player, Teddy from New Orleans. He used to have a TV show.
Pete Fontaine?
Al Hurt or somebody. With,
Al Hurt,
with it.
Pete Fontaine. Right.
Yeah, he was great. It was like, so there's all these different guys played on it, and
Jeff
It was just-
Jeff Noodle. That was his name.
yeah. Okay, you looking at it?
Oh,
No,
But,
Eric found it, man. Eric finds everything.
So back to Capitol Homeboys is when I met Teddy, and then we played at FM stations with BB Chung King for 6 months, alternating sets on Monday nights, and that's
Right.
when the Guns N' Roses guys started coming in. They were scouting
Right.
Teddy to take him on tour because they wanted to add horns and then other keys to the ensemble. So Scott Gilby came in and Duff and everybody came in. It was just all of a sudden turned into this amazing scene. And
yeah. It became
still-
the what is now known as the big jam sessions around town. We really pretty much started that, like what,
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Okay.
Whatever. For
I
FM
just came up with
station,
some videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I gave Teddy some. There's some videos of some of those shows, and there was
Yeah.
a Capitol Homeboys reunion even.
yeah.
And,
Man, I wish I'd have
Luther's
known
playing
that.
it.
I'd have had that video so I could put that up, man, because that would be cool to play.
I just transferred them to digital, so it's the process
Chuck,
to get them up.
Yeah.
Move faster, so I can get them on the show. Goddamn it!
Okay, damn it. Call me back. Anyhow,
But you,
Well, all I know is I remember one night, even before I started, I think it was before I started coaching. I came over to Baked Potato, and I think Teddy, you was running the gym at that time. And I'm sitting in with these guys. I thought they were Australians. Because I never knew where. I was still out back. I came in through the back door, which I'm shocked they let me in because no one knew who I was. I was out back talking to Richie Sambora. Him and his Lamborghini. Rich was similar. But I
Right.
wound up sitting in with these guys. Pam was with me. And later I go home and we're on the way home and Pam like, you have no idea who that was playing with Teddy and you guys, right? And I'm like, no. She's like, that was Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It was Emerson and
oh yeah, Greg Lake, right?
yeah.
Keith Emerson.
And-
Keith Emerson.
And we were doing some straight blues and I'm jamming with
Yeah.
these guys and they were really, that's what I'm saying. I treat everybody, I always treat everybody like gold because I don't know anybody, but it doesn't matter if you're a big name or not. I mean, I want to treat, there's no reason to treat people like shit, or I never try to walk in
Right.
like I'm the shit,
Right.
because you, especially when you're in certain areas, you don't know who's who. I didn't-
Especially
I didn't
there,
know you guys-
especially at the Baked Potato, because you could get everybody from Keith Emerson to Al Jarreau.
Yeah.
The Al Jarreau would
I missed him a couple nights. and then he
Keanu
played,
Reeves.
he was there, and I didn't get to see him.
It's amazing. that
we were doing
played.
your jam one night when Teddy had Tuesday nights doing a jam for a while. And Steve Winwood was playing up at Universal, and he was like,
Right.
I'm going to go out for a drink. And he comes down the street, and all of a sudden Steve Winwood's sitting in front of us, and we go, oh my God. And he did Give Me Some Lovin' with us. Remember he said it?
Yeah, Steve Winwood. We did it with Spencer Davis and Steve Winwood, 2 different
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ace Frehley from Kiss would come in, and the Baked Potato was what, 10 by 10.
It's
Maybe that
tiny.
big. And
That's
he would
bigger than that.
he would come in, and Ace Frehley from Kiss would come in, and he would throw his picks out, and it would like hit Justin in the head, behind the bar. And he was going, "Hey man, stop doing that." I come back the next day to get my gear, and the cleaning guy's cleaning up, and I'm picking up, kiss picks off the ground.
Too funny.
It was, I mean, and you know what amazing thing about this, Chuck and Sugar, you guys don't know, is that it was back when there were no real cell phones with cameras, nothing, and so none of that was ever recorded.
That's the sad part. Even at Cozy's, I mean, there's some videos up where where just a few people. It was at the time when just a few people had cell phones.
Right.
I mean, one time someone actually took a video, which is so sad because we had, just like with the baked potato, there were so many amazing nights. There was some night. I remember one night it was like the whole Tower Power horn section except for Emilio and Hank and I think Albino was on the drum. It was just, the lineups that we were having on Monday night was just crazy.
Crazy to even get. We never took a break because there was no place to go, so we would just play for 4 hours straight.
People got upset at me, because I started telling people I had to change from just a jam to like, because so many of you big name cats started coming in. I'm like, well, it's a pro jam, so I got to get the pros up. And so I want to have people calling me 2 days, literally, this is no joke, I got to find it. I want to have people calling me 2 days before the jam to try to get on the list.
Right. But I got to tell you, when I would see you,
got rid of the list
Sugar Ray, when I would see you come in, I'd go, oh, great, I'll be able to take a break. I go, hey, Sugar Ray, come on up here. And the minute you stepped on stage, I'm out the back door. I was like, I'll see you in a half an hour. I'll see you in a half hour.
Yeah, because we had some monster sessions that went on. Like you said, something went on for hours and hours. I'm thinking that was that night that they called the cops on us because we were supposed to close at 1, but there was a couple nights we went to 2 or so. Yeah, we just closed the front door.
Close the front door, and everybody would have to leave.
No one would leave.
No.
But no one would leave.
And remember, it was the last place that allowed smoking. So everybody would come in there just to smoke. Wow. It was the last place. And the only thing they had were those 2 fans on the behind the stage. It was the only thing to get the smoke out. And man, I tell you,
I want all you people to understand that this stage is a postage stamp. This stage it may have been 6 feet deep, maybe 8, and it might have been 10 feet across. So you imagine there were some nights that we'd have 15, 16 people on that stage. If you cut all the horns. Matter of fact, there's some nights where the horns were in front of the front door wrapped around that wall.
Yeah. I used to put my Leslie off the stage, right? I would move a table. So somebody actually had to sit right next to that Leslie all night long.
Yeah, people did, though. They didn't care. They just sit there,
Yeah. It was one of a kind. Those are the days that we all remember have in our minds, man, because nothing was really filmed. So, the people that come up to me even to this day, they go, man, I remember you guys. I remember I was there when Sugar Ray sat in with Steve Winwood or, stuff like that. You go, wow. So.
Well, that was Chuck. You guys when I had Unkizzy's boys, and I remember Chuck coming to me because I only knew Chuck shortly. Like I said, I knew him that he had produced Trunk Full of Blues, and then he had sat in at one time. And Chuck came down to the gym. I always tell people the first couple times I went to the gym, it was John Marks. And God bless John Marks. I think he ran that gym for 17, 18 years. And, the guy's like a walking encyclopedia of the blues. And a hell of a musician. So I had gone, we had sold the ranch, and I was living at the Bonaventure. But I was going back and forth there for a while. If you guys remember, I was driving from Fallbrook to L.A. on Mondays because I was still living in San Diego County at that time when we first started the jam. And Kizzy's boys was backing me up. And Chuck just came up to me one night. He's like, Chuck, he was like, and this boy got popular. I mean, Kizzy's boys, first of all, thank those guys for making that drive. They lasted three Mondays, I think it was, or it might have been a month. First of all, thank them, Dwayne, Big Joe, Mo, and Jimmy for making that drive to back me up, which they did. But I remember Chuck coming up to me like one night, this is after I finally got the gig, and Chuck came up to me one Monday, and say, Sugar, this could be a big thing, man. You need to let me book the bands, and then you just sing, and I have a different band behind you every week. And I remember looking at Chuck like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know you like that, and I don't know these guys like that. And I said, the first time I don't have a band, I'm bringing back Unkizzy's boys.
We had so many local guys were on the road, off the road, and they'd say, "What's going on this week?" I said, "Hey, you want to play Monday night?" And it was wonderful because there'd like the Alvino and Gary and just all these different drummers and bass players and we had like 7 keyboard players and
Yeah,
the horn players just came. They
I did
adopted
gigs
us.
I played with Kizzy's boys. We did some of the those casinos down where you'd live down there.
Did you play with us?
Yeah. Remember we
Oh,
played
right on.
we did a gig where there were no amps on stage. We had the
Paula Casino.
Yeah.
The Death March.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? By the end, they wouldn't even let me use a microphone.
Really?
And we got fired. One time because we were averaging about 300 to 500 people would come in to see our show.
Wow.
And they, the casinos, they changed CEOs like you change your underwear.
Right.
And so one CEO fired us because he said we were distracting from the machines.
From the machine, sure. Yeah, they want to keep those people on the gaming floor.
That only lasted a month because the next month there was a new manager, and what they looked at is like, yeah, the machines weren't as busy, but people were buying high-end dinners. They were buying hotel rooms, and they were buying liquor. So the casino was still making crazy money. So then they brought us back.
Right.
They started having us there like 5 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Kizzy's Boys was a smoking band, boy.
It was. I was lucky.
Band.
I was lucky that was my first foray into the blues, and Dwayne and Jimmy.
Yeah.
When I met them, I was giving up music again. I had just left my funk band and was just running my avocado ranch. If you guys, I don't know, you guys know that. Pam is the one that made me go to the jam, and that's where I met Jimmy and Dwayne. And literally 3 weeks later, I was playing with them at the Idlewild Jazz Festival. I'm like, I don't even know these guys. And we were at the Idlewild Jazz Festival, and I was kind of freaking out because there was a whole lot of black people there. And you know how black people are. They're going to tell you exactly whether you want to know or not. Like, baby, yeah, and Kizzy was, yeah, they will, Chuck. But we've had some wild adventures, man.
Sugar, you're the famous one now. You're talking about not knowing everybody, but it's like you've done pretty well for yourself, man. I got to tell you, so you have a lot to be proud of,
But that was big. That's literally and directly affected because of you cats. Because again,
you did Europe on your own. You went to Europe on your own, bro. You just
yes, I was well known in Europe and all that. But all the I've done probably like 10, 12 commercials. I've done a lot of stuff that happened, and that happened because of COVID. You remember, I got my first commercial, Chuck, because it was Stevie Wonder's band. They were there that night. And they came to Kavooras one night. They sat in, they played. I can't even remember these cats' names. And 3 days after that, they called me up and asked me, like, do you have an agent about it? I said, no, I got nobody, just me and my wife. He's like, well, listen, we got this. We want you to come in and sing for this commercial. They were doing some commercial. I don't know if Pepsi or something. And they called me up, and I got to do that commercial. That was my first voiceover gig.
Yeah, we did some demos here. Remember, we did some voiceover demos here.
Yeah. Yeah, I did one.
Like reading text. It was great.
I wound up having songs on True Blood, Person of Interest, Cadillac, Toyota. I mean, a bunch of crap that just happened. McDonald's. I don't even know if y'all knew that was me on the ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I had McDonald's. I mean, but all that happened because of the stuff that you guys allowed me to do and the people you guys made it possible for me to meet.
We had a wonderful trip up to the Bohemian Club in San Francisco. My friend Scott Matthews asked us to come up to a slide guitar night, and so he said, "Joel, Chuck, you always play slide." So we got to play with Roy Rogers and Al Anderson from NRBQ, and all these players came in.
We stayed at Chuck's sister's house. Remember?
Belushi. Were you on that one too, Teddy?
I was one of them. I remember we stayed at Chuck's sister's house. We all got a room.
That's
up at the story I was going to talk about. That's the Alan Walker story. I was going to talk about that. But yeah, the Bohemian Club.
Another time.
Because you brought me along, and
you get the plays out of that. The guys that did the plays, you became part of a play.
Yeah.
It was the Millionaires Club, Teddy. The Bohemian Club in San Francisco.
The 4-time Tony Award winning Ain't Nothing But the Blues. I got the lead role in that. But what you don't know is Chuck, is 3 weeks after we came back from that. 3 weeks after we came back from that, they offered me a different role of a different play. They were doing a play with Harry Belafonte and Lead Belly. I'm not sure what the play was, but I got 2 parts. But unfortunately, I got the parts, but I was flying to Europe to do my European tour because that's where I was making my money. Later is when I wanted to come back, the same guy, and they brought me in to do Ain't Nothing But the Blues.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
Teddy. We had to go up there to rehearse. We had to drive to San Francisco to rehearse, and then drive home, and then come back a week later and do the gig.
Wow.
And we had to wear suit and ties the whole time. It was like this.
Remember they got on me. I don't know if you remember this. Just I was eating dinner. I had on 3-piece suit. I took off my jacket. I got on 3-piece suit. I took off my jacket, hung it on the back of a chair, and I think it was a retired general or some congressman came, tapped me on the shoulder, and like, young man, we eat with our jackets on here. I was like, oh, okay.
Young man.
I was like, wow.
Young man.
Because,
Young man.
There was 2 4-star Marine Corps generals there, a lot of congressmen. The guy that started TiVo was playing the drums. Remember that, Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
The guy that started TiVo was playing the drums.
Jim Belushi was the narrator, the sire. Jim Belushi.
Oh,
was the host.
He was funny, dude. He kept talking to me. I was just like,
there. Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, if you remember later, Chuck, you introduced me to the sound man from the Dead.
Grateful
Dead. Grateful Dead. You remember? Because we went. Yeah. He was building a new studio. We went down there. We met those guys, and then if you remember, Chuck, and then you got me a second gig while we was there. I wound up singing on these guys called the Heavy Pets. Someone just sent that album to me, the Heavy Pets. I wound up singing on that album.
I found it. Yeah, Scott Matthews produced it. He said he just wanted you to scream, do your thing. That, and you were in the other rooms doing that. And when you did it, he fell on the floor. He was like, I was like, he loved the fact that just you automatically knew what to do. And it was this really guttural scream, this, the thing that you do with when you tighten up your throat and then this high pitch thing. Yeah. And he was like, yes. It was like he was just elated that you did that. It was great. That was in San Rafael.
All that's coming back to me, man. I mean, we so anyway, we're in Sacramento at Chuck's ancestral state home, and we all got rooms. We drove, and so it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. Somebody's screaming at the top of their lungs. All of a sudden, Teddy like, Ray, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm coming in there, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Man, that ain't me. And so finally, they kept going. And finally, I think Teddy got up, came to my room, which is actually very brave of him. It was actually very brave of him. I love you, Teddy. I wouldn't have done anything to you, but that still was very brave. And all of a sudden, Al Walker comes around the corner with nothing but a towel on. And listen, it's 7 grown men. It's 5 a.m. Al Walker is walking through this house. He's never been in before. Yelling at the top of his lungs for about 6 minutes while he shot. You remember that?
Yeah. My parents had passed, and we were selling the house, and the house was empty. Right. And we needed a place to stay, so my sisters were gracious and put inflatable beds for us and everything. And it was great. It was really fun. And we played at Constable Jack's up in Newhall, or
Constable Jack's.
Oh, that's right.
Newcastle.
Constable Jack's.
Well, you wasn't with us, Chuck, that night we played that speakeasy in Grass Valley, were you? It was me, Albino, Teddy, and General Giperic.
It was me.
Big Al Walker.
Yeah, it was me.
And George Pendleton. Was that you?
Yeah, I remember I had to lean on the guy to get paid at the end of the night because he disappeared. And then the girl was like, "Well, we don't have any money for you." And I said, "Yes, you do." And I said, "Sugar, come over here." So I wanted you to like have your presence there by the way. So she gets on the phone and she goes, "Hey, I'll have your money in a minute." It was like one of those things where they didn't want to pay us because it was downtown in that old vintage town, remember? And it was like we were in the basement of the place.
Yeah.
And, where it was like this speakeasy that was built back during
Prohibition. It was Grass Valley, yeah, you were right.
Grass Valley.
Yeah, it was a classic old town.
My mind's like a steel sieve, brother.
You remember,
a lot has happened. A lot has happened, man.
Yeah, I forget about some of that stuff. That Long Beach show. But So Chuck, Slideway Studios, which I think, if I remember right, used to be the old Pac West before you bought it, or am I getting that wrong?
No, David Pack's place was called Pack's Place. Yeah, I
Okay.
bought the place from a guy in Ambrosia, and I've been here 20 years, man. It's like been a lot of records. Here's the newest one I did. It's shameless plug. Sugar Bill Slim. This is a blues record. He's a real favorite of the guys locally. This is the future of the young blues. These guys are great. This is a great record. Real happy with this. And I just had
Sugar Mill Slim.
Yeah, Anders. He's the main guy. He and I had coffee yesterday, but this just came out. He sat in with Slash and Jimmy at the NAMM for Gibson. They featured him. They did Stones tune. They did Midnight Rambler with Kenny Aronoff and his all-star band. And then he got a real nice push to do that. And there's a lot of young blues guys coming out, man. I love them. They're in their 20s, 30s, and they really are studying this stuff. And they're really like where we were when we were teenagers. I was in the 70s. Or 60s, 70s. Teddy and I were like, wow, who's this and who's that? And we always went back to the source. Like we'd see who we liked. They'd say, oh, you got to go back. This is who I listen to. And that's what they're doing. And it's great. So we're kind of a conduit because it's like, I've seen everybody. Teddy has too. I mean, I'm so blessed. I got the Jimi Hendrix shirt on.
But
I saw Hendrix twice. I'm so blessed.
Before you go into that, you need to start checking your. I want to talk about the movies and stuff you played on. You played with a lot of the cats. You were one of the cats. You don't never talk about that. You're a very humble cat. But I want you to blow this up. I know you and Winter did some stuff, and I know some other stuff. So come on, let's talk about it. Come on. That's what this is for.
Al Cooper, I met him through. I had a day gig at Westlake of selling gear. And I was like at playing nights and have supplement. So I met Al Cooper through that, and then he said, "Steve Lukather says you play slide guitar really good." I said, "Yeah, okay." And he says, "Can you come over and do the soundtrack for me?" And he was at Amigo, and we did the Kiki Camarena, the Drug Wars, and it was the first time I played the film. It was great, and he just said, "Play something like this there," and then we became best friends after that. And every time he would come to do the West Coast, I'd meet him, and then Edgar Winter was a friend through some other people, and I was rehearsing with Alex Litcherwood. That was another great band. It had the best guys in the world.
Somebody else you introduced me to. Wait a minute. Don't go, because you remember now. These people that sometimes have no idea. Even though they watch these people all their life, they have no idea who they are. He just said Alex Litcherwood, and I know Alex. I met Alex through Chuck and Jimmy. Alex Litcherwood for many years was the lead singer for Santana.
That's right.
Yes.
This boy is out of this man is out of this world. I don't know if he's still out there playing, but he got one of the greatest voices you've ever heard, Alex Litcherwood. Okay, and then the second person
Benny,
he was
Benny King convinced him to sing as a career. He was playing guitar in a band in Scotland, and he said you should just sing. And so he was in Brian Auger's Express. After that, he was in Average White Band, and then I met him in the early '90s during the riots. Remember, we were shut down for that, Teddy. There was like.
Right. Yeah.
Just like with the pandemic, they had a curfew, citywide curfew, because of the Rodney King trial. They were worried about the riots and stuff. And I met his wife. What's so funny about that, and not ha funny. What's so funny about that? It was my last year in the Marine Corps, and I remember being at Camp Pendleton, and they wouldn't let me go home because they were thinking about sending in the Marines. And at that time, I was a staff sergeant. We were sitting there like, isn't it against the law for federalized troops to go into the city? I mean, one thing to do the National Guard, but the situation was so bad, they had Camp Pendleton. After Camp Pendleton, they had us on the alert. That at any moment they might pull up, and we were coming down there. It was bad. That's why I remember. It was my last year. I got out of the Marine Corps. November 11th, '92. My son was born September 30th. That's
so
right in the middle of it. And so Alex's wife, Sean Brogan, introduced me to him. He said, you and Alex should get along really well. And we played together for 10 years with all these different bands. That's Veronica played with us and Ferroni. And I had a wedding I did one night.
When he says, we talk about Tony Veronica from the Steve Miller Band and many others. And we talk about Steve Ferroni from, my God, I know him with Tom
Average
Petty,
White Band, Tom
Average
Petty.
White Band.
Okay.
So
Chuck, we had a wedding one night.
These people don't know these names.
We had a wedding one night, and it's like some guy hired us. It was Alex singing, Steve Ferroni on drums, it was Alfonso Johnson on bass for Weather Report, unbelievable.
Jesus
and Tony
Christ.
I don't know him.
and
Who's
T.
that?
Lavitz from the Dixie Dregs.
Oh,
So Alfonso's a super famous bass player.
Yeah.
He's
He's very
one of the
famous.
top jazz bass players, and he's still going. But I was like slapping myself in the face. Am I playing with these guys? And it was a wedding. We were doing covers, just like no list. Or just whatever we wanted to do, we played. It was just so Alex was great. We had some great band. We did a night with the Baked Potato Hollywood. With some benefits
yeah.
there. That's how I got to play with John Mayall. I played with him one night with his band, and then Kembo was another night. I played with him and those guys.
Right.
And then the movies was the Al Cooper movie. And then Edgar Winter had me and Wag the Dog play. There's a song in the middle called "Old Shoe," and
Wag the
did
Dog. The movie
Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, and it's big on cable right now and stuff. And it was a long time ago too, and. He had me play and what was I going to say about that? Mark Knopfler did the soundtrack, but Edgar had a song in there. So I do it in his apartment, where his home is in Beverly Hills, and then Pop Staples winds up singing the song. So I'm like, never knew that I was going to be playing with Pop Staples on a blues song. So it was like a golf of a Robert Johnson thing, and then there's a couple more things like that. I did the Benny King.
Wow, Pop.
Made in America track and some stuff. So I had some, thanks to Mike Landau and Luke and some really good friends, dear friends, they believed in me and said, call. At the time, back in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't a lot of slide guitar going on here. Now everybody plays slide. Like
right.
every beer commercial and for ribs and for
80s and 90s, it was pretty much all rock.
Right.
I mean, there was some R&B stuff coming out, but it was rock.
Right. Yeah.
And Teddy, now I know you did some stuff. I'm as long as I've known you guys, you think I know more, but it's not like I'm Googling you all the time. I just know you're cool cats. I know you did some stuff with Carole King. I know you played with Monsters Ball. I know you played with Guns N' Roses, and I know you have your own band and stuff. But come on, let's
I did the Carole King thing. I did 3 albums with Carole, and that led to me playing with Guns because it happened because Carole King was using the same crew guys, their working crew.
Okay.
And somebody told me, hey man, there's this band that they don't have a keyboard player, blah blah blah. So I never heard of them, Guns N' Roses, and they came to see me play. Slash and Duff came to the Roxy when I was playing with BB Chung King. You remember BB?
That's really sad. I was in the studio. I was in the studio like 5 days or 4 days before that doing something in his house studio.
At his house.
I know you were there.
I was there. I was there when he passed. I was with him. We were listening to an organ track.
It was so surreal because he looked fine. I mean, I just did that with him like a few days before.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to interrupt. I just
no. It was a Carole King, but and then the Guns thing led to that, and then I played with Slash's Blues Ball, and then became Snake Pit, and we did a soundtrack for one of the Terminator movies, and then we did something for we did the Godfather's theme song for that movie. It's the Robert Evans movie. The kid stays in the movie or something, stuff like that. And then we played with the Boxing Gandhis, and we had a bunch of songs in a couple of Drew Barrymore movies, stuff like that. So, but I did Billy Bob Thornton's we did like 11 albums with Billy Bob Thornton. He's still making good records.
And you played with Alice Cooper for
Alice Cooper. Yeah, how could I forget? Yeah, I did three albums.
He lives down the street, man.
Oh yeah, at Paradise Valley, right?
Yeah.
So I did 3 albums with him and toured with him. That was a fun one. I got to tell you, out of all those bands, though, the most fun for me was Carole, because it was just songs. Those songs are so friggin' legendary. And she gives you the set. I'll never forget. She gave me the set list for the tour that we were going to do, and this is way back. And I said, I didn't know you wrote that. You wrote that one too? Wow, you wrote that song? You wrote that? But she's written so many songs, and when you go, it's like going to see Paul McCartney. Same thing.
Yeah.
You go, oh man, I forgot about that. Soon Sugar Ray, that's gonna be what it's gonna be like coming to see you play. Everybody's gonna say the same thing. Man, I remember that song.
Right.
Man, I remember that song. You ever hear Sugar Ray's version of Wonderful World? Oh man, you got to check that one out. Stuff like that.
You can't see it. You're making me blush.
Yeah.
All I know is that you guys really gave me a leg up on this business and being able to get a job, because I mean, again, it's kind of like when I came up with Unkiss's Boys, I didn't know very much about the blues because I was a gospel guy, and then I hadn't played all those years, and you guys gave me legitimacy. The Monday Night Jam gave me legitimacy. I mean, it literally, because the caliber cats and all the cats that were coming in there, and they just treated me like one of the cats. And so because of that, a lot of doors in LA opened for me, because people would ask me all the time, like, "Hey man, how are you?" And I would just look at them like, I don't have any secret, dude. All I can just tell you is that these guys, they allowed me to be part of the group, and I'm running.
But Sugar Ray, it was hard to see. I mean, it was hard not to know that, this guy's gonna once this guy, it was inevitable, man. Before I mean, when you would come into the club, everybody be like, Sugar Ray's here. Okay, now we can get this party going, because you would come up and you would come up, and within 10 minutes you'd be soaking wet, and you'd be hugging me and coming over to hug me. And I'm going, dude, stop.
Give me a towel.
Guys, get that man a towel, man. Yeah. But it was that way because everybody started to know who you were. And if you walked in a club, and I mean, you're not a small man. When you walked in the club, people knew you were there. It's like, okay, now we can get going. And then it was only a matter of time before the whole world got a chance to see you. And when I came and saw you at the gig that we did together, and I told you this the other day. I says we walked in, we were playing right after you guys at that blues festival, and me and Walter and Johnny and Mike Lazier, we all kind of walked out the side door of the stage, and you were huffing and puffing, and the band was grooving, and you were sweating, man. You were a big-legged woman, and then you look over and you see us under the exit sign light. You go, hold on, bring it down, and then you just go, I can't believe who's here. I mean, right in the middle of your show, you just bring it down. My boys are over here. It's Walter, Teddy, and you're not going to believe who these guys are. And we're standing there going, oh, no. And you come running off the stage all sweaty and hugging us, and Walter's like, man, I just took a shower. God damn it. and it was I was just like so happy to see you. And it was the same thing for you, I could tell. When you just turned to look at us, there they are. There they are. There's my boys right there. And you walk back up on stage, and man, the train was off and running again. And it was great. Well, it was one of those nights, man. The whole band, all the band. You had LeVar playing drums.
Lavelle, yeah.
Lavelle playing drums.
He said it a couple times on Monday nights. I don't know if
he used to play with Jimmy Z at Harvell.
Yeah, he was with Jimmy Z, and he was with Lucky. He was still part of Lucky Peterson's band when first time he came in. Yeah.
Right, and then of course Drake. Who I love. Drake. I know Drake, and always a good guy to me, and so yeah, it was one of those things, it made me happy to see you up there and the crowd just going off. You had the crowd in the palm of your, like you always do. It's like, the first time I saw you do your thing, I'm going, oh well, there's no reason for me to be here. This guy's got it.
You always try to get me to do that Gap Band song.
I always liked the Big-Legged Woman.
Yeah, but there was an R&B song you used to always try to get me to sing. Like, was it Outstanding or something? You like, man, you kill on this song. I can't.
Was it the Bobby Blue Band? Why to sing? No, that's Freddie King. What?
Hey, thinking of Bobby Blue Band. Have you guys seen Kirk?
Kirk.
How's he doing? I haven't seen that guy in forever. Is he still in LA? Kirk Covington.
Oh no, he's in Texas.
Oh,
He moved to Austin. Yeah, he lives in Austin.
Okay.
Wow, I
But I hadn't
completely.
seen him. I wanted to,
That's a voice. There's a name out of the past, man. Wow.
He came in and he either played drums or keyboards. Remember?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
because he tripped me out because he's the only guy that was there that was as big as me or bigger. Big white guy and overall with a mohawk.
Yeah, yeah. Kurt Cut. Wow.
With soul.
Yeah, and that guy could play drums and keyboards. Two different ends of the music spectrum. And that guy, he would do he did a Sunday brunch on a cruise ship as a piano player.
Yeah. He lives in Austin now.
Rocker.
Yeah. Oh.
There's a club outside Austin. He plays at. He's posting on. He plays with David Grissom now and again, and some really good Texas people. He comes out here once in a while and does a reunion with when John Ziegler was that must have was in Volto with Danny Carey and Kirk was in that at the beginning stages of
Kurt Covington. Wow, I forgot. I completely forgot about Kurt. Great.
Yeah, he moved out of here. He's had some real estate happening back there, and he's still playing. Don't forget, he was touring with Joe Zawinul with Scott Henderson. I mean, he did some heavy duty jazz stuff. Yeah, he was playing with Joe, the Weather Report.
Wow.
Well, there's nothing that guy couldn't play. So I just remember
he was one of the baked potato guys. You know, one of the baked potato. The amount of musicianship that came out of that little club will never be duplicated. Never.
Now people y'all that don't know, when we say little club, I'm in my sugar shack. The sugar shack is 10 by 10. The club might have been 2.5 sugar shacks. I mean, you might could get 50 people,
maybe
55 people in the audience.
Yeah.
But we're talking about not only these guys playing, but like I just said, Lake Emerson and Palmer or
Steve Winwood, all those guys.
So that you met Bruce Willis came in there, Kenny.
Bruce Willis, we had Bruce Willis used to come in all the time.
If you ever get the opportunity to go to LA, the place is still there. It's called the Baked Potato.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kevin Eubanks used to, when he wasn't doing his show with Conan or what it was, he had a show like every Wednesday, wasn't it? Wasn't he doing something like every Wednesday or something?
He was at Tonight Show. He was with
The Tonight Show. But
there was a lot of those guys that all of Jimmy Kimmel's band were all baked potato guys. You know,
Jimmy Earl,
Oshie, and the keyboard player. They were all baked potato guys. You know, the baked potato was doing streaming for a while. They were doing concerts because they put in a system there, and it was doing well. Chuck knows better than me, but they had to close down again. Just because.
That was really baked potato. The baked potato helped me get my first paying gig in LA. Was at the Baked Potato, and I became part of the Invitation All Stars. And if you guys remember the names,
right.
Adam Stark.
Yeah.
Gerald Johnson, the original bass player from
Steve Miller.
Steve Miller.
Yeah.
And the legendary Mr. James Gasson.
Oh boy.
And so that was my first band in LA. Even before we started the All Stars, CK All Stars, it was my first band. And again, I had no idea who anybody was. I knew Adam Stark from the Baked Potato.
Right. Yeah, but
sit in with you guys.
Yeah. Well, when Gadsden would come in and play, that was always a treat for everybody, just to watch him do that.
And that wig slowly turned as he played. I'm sorry if you're watching, Mr. Gadsden. You know I have number respect.
James Gadsden was great. He had a Cadillac. He had a Cadillac, a brown Cadillac. It had his initials on the car mats.
Yeah, I saw it. I got to ride in it. When he invited me to his house. I've been to his house. So, we played a show one night at the Liquid Kitty. Remember the Liquid Kitty?
Oh, yeah. It was out in the West Side.
Yes, Santa Monica, that area, West Side, right.
We had the Liquid Kitty, that band. Albino came in, and I guess some other really big name people that I don't really know. But I did notice some of the movie stars and stuff that were in there. And I'm sitting there thinking, I remember thinking, this is probably like the second, third gig I have in this band. I remember sitting there thinking like, well, I know they're not here for me. They don't know me from Adam. So what the hell is going on? and it took the third gig before I went home with Pam and did a Wikipedia on who these guys were.
Right.
You know, and then it was messed up because then I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm playing with these guys. What the hell, you know?
It was
Like,
that was an
crazy.
easy thing to do because they would just come in and sometimes you didn't even know they were there. They would just come in and
Yeah.
sit in. You know, Keanu Reeves used to come in and sit in. What's her name? She's got a. Oh, I can't. She came in to sing, and my wife, Drew Barrymore. I don't know if you were there, Sugar.
Oh,
You
right,
may
I
have
was
been.
there.
Drew Barrymore came in, and you know, at that point, I'd had a couple cocktails, and my wife is sitting over in the corner, and she sees me see Drew come in. She comes running up to me, and she goes, "Teddy, don't you say anything. Don't you do anything rude." Because I used to have my little machine, and I pushed that
I
button.
already told him about the machine.
She goes, "Don't you say anything. Don't you say anything." And I look at my wife. I go, What are you talking about? Lately, I go, "Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring her up to the stage, Miss Drew Barrymore." And she comes up.
You put up like that?
Yeah, I just because I knew it would get my wife mad, so I just did. Let's bring her up on stage, and she sings Jumpin' Jack Flash, and she loved it. She had a great time. Yeah, she had a great time.
You know what was shocking is all those guys had a good time. You know, it was funny for me at Cozy's when all the because first it was just all rock guys, all the rock guys and people that knew rock, they were there. But when the R&B and hip hop guys started showing up, that was I became good friends with Faison Love, because he used to come there, and me, him, and Mo would sit back and drink cognac at the back of the bar. And what's the guy what's the Hotel Rwanda? Anyway, but all these big stars were coming in. But do you remember the night I'm sitting out front? Because first of all, for about 4 Mondays, somebody was stealing my cigars. All these people out here in the line, I would sit up front and I sit my cigar down and run back inside, and I come back out, my cigar be gone. I look at these people like, who took my cigar? Nobody would say anything because I don't think they knew who I was until they come in. And come to find out it was a homeless guy waiting. He was sitting over at the Ralphs, and he would watch me. So when I would get up that stool and sit my cigar down, he would literally run across the street and grab my cigar. And these wasn't no like $2 cigars, it is like half a cigar. It's like, God dang it. I said all that to say, I remember the night that she came in. It was weird because, be no disrespect, but I could see her chest coming before she was. It was that Mary Carey. The porn chick that was like the Mariah. She came in like a couple times. And so
Mary Carey, she was the porn star. She was a porn star that
she also ran for governor.
Yeah, she ran for exactly. She was a politician, Mary Carey.
She came to the jam a couple nights.
Really?
Mondays. Sat in my lap the whole night. I was just like, okay, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a few porn people there too. I mean, it's LA. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's LA.
I won't call out the last name, but Glenn was there, and Glenn had been shooting for Vivid and them for decades. I mean, so he used to come there all the time.
Hated Glenn Barron. Hey, Glenn.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say his last name that day, and Chuck put it up there.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about all these stories is they're all gone now. The clubs are not in LA anymore. A lot of people have moved out because, unfortunately, the music scene in Los Angeles is not happening. Well, it's not happening anywhere right now. But before the pandemic, it was like it was 1 o'clock, and Ventura Boulevard was all shut down.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, because I didn't come to LA that much, but I remember. You guys used to tell me, and well, some of the other big name cats that used to come in about all. I was talking to the guy from the Dramatics that night. The drummer from the Dramatics was there. If you remember that, Chuck, the old black dude, he was and so I was talking to him, and he was just telling me about all these clubs that used to be on Central Avenue. I had no idea. I mean, I knew there was a few clubs in LA, but I guess it was like there used to be like literally 100 clubs or more.
Yeah. And didn't Chuck? Did the Troubadour actually close down, or are they reopening?
It's shut down. I think it's owned by investors now. They maybe use it for streaming, maybe for films.
Yeah, I've
It's
talked to
it's not
Don.
going to be open to the public, from what I understand.
Oh, I've talked to Don, and they still own the baked potato, but they don't know if they're going to reopen. It's sad, you know, because
Really?
now
I think they will. I think they're going to.
Yeah.
You know, there's one of the last bastions. There's no other place in the valley, really. I mean, there's no.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle, right.
Don Cheadle's okay. That's
Don Cheadle used to come in, right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Did he play
you know,
Miles Davis too? He played Miles Davis in the movie, didn't
Right.
He played a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know what, Sugar, when you were making the rounds in L.A., the scene was still happening, and you kept it alive.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
I
you
don't
played
know
the
if I
baked
kept it
potatoes,
alive.
cozies, and
I was just
Cafe Cordial.
Right,
Cafe Cordial, yeah, across the street.
right across the street.
I was just enamored that even though I didn't know who these people were, I could appreciate that when they played, I knew that they wasn't just local, just wasn't like, you can tell whether you know a guy or not, you can tell if a guy can play or not. So the great thing was, that what was so great for me, it was all discovery, and then Chuck would be like bringing in people that I'd never heard of. Then I would literally go home and tell Pam, and we would Wikipedia them back then. We didn't know Google. You had the Wikipedia cats. And I was just starstruck and enamored. But I'm from the country, so it was always treat everybody the same.
That was your forte. Was you didn't have to know who they were.
That's exactly. I was going to say the same thing. The great thing was because it didn't matter that you didn't know them. You made them feel welcome, and you just did your thing. And
but later, nobody
would.
I was like, I can't believe I asked that guy to get up and play in the jam.
Yeah,
like.
Well,
they would get up and play.
You know what the great thing was about Sugar Ray when he would invite somebody up that wasn't that good or something. You had a really great way of telling them to get the fuck out, get the hell off the stage. But you were good about it. Nobody was offended. You were really good about it, and
I had a guy get really mad at me one night.
We had a blues filter. It wasn't blues.
It was
that's right.
It was you / Chuck Alvino,
Ricky
Van Sickle,
Rick Carter,
Ralph. Was it Ralph?
Ralph Carter, maybe,
or Van Sickle, or Hank,
or Johnny.
It was Ralph or Hank. No, this night was a Ralph or Hank. Anyway, the guy was pissed off because he was mad because Slash played 3 songs.
Oh, yeah, that happened all the time.
I mean, he was giving me crap because Slash played, and I'm just looking at the guy like just some weekend warrior guy, but even great, no disrespect, and I'm like, really, dude?
We used to hear that all the time. Hey, Michael Fell played 5 songs on a harmonica. How come I can't play any song?
This guy used to be with Jimmy Smith, and the guy can freaking play. Right. Michael Fell. I saw a video. He put up a video on YouTube a few days ago. That's the first time I've heard his name and seen him in years, man.
Yeah, he's still around playing. He played with John Marks. He was
Honey Boy.
Marks,
played with Honey Boy Edwards.
Honey Boy Edwards.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy
Smith. It was Jimmy Smith and Richard Pryor, but he was just the go boy then.
Right.
he was just the key grip. We won't go any further than that.
But we had a good time, and you know what? It's real. It makes you proud to see that we're all still here. We're all still making music. You're doing well. Chuck's doing good. Chuck maybe Chuck. I don't know. Maybe moving.
I wasn't gonna put that out there. So
I don't know. It's all an idea. We nothing's in stone. I may be moving if I don't get it. If I don't go out and play soon, I may be moving. I may be thrown out of here.
Life takes us different places,
That's right.
That was the very reason that Pam and I moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
So that we could one time retire, and everything is so affordable that no matter what happens, God willing, we're all right. That was why we moved to Arizona. I could be in LA. It's a 45-minute flight to Burbank.
Right.
It's worked out really well for us. I mean, don't get me wrong, California was great. 30 years I spent in California, but it just got to a point where it was just spending. Where I keep my RV, the place where my RV is at, I got 25-foot RV now. I don't have those big ones like I used to have. 25-foot RV, I keep it there in the valley. And for 4 hookups and everything, it's what is it, $1,100? That's insane. That's way more than what my mortgage is.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona.
Rent
I'm
is,
gonna tell you, that's almost double what my mortgage is in Arizona.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Los Angeles. That's why people are moving out. They can't afford to live here anymore.
But the funny
know?
thing is, you get all these young kids moving in. But what people don't realize is a lot of these kids send 3 and 4 kids to a house to be able to afford it.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they lease it. I always tell people that, well, that guy driving a Mercedes, that guy driving a Bugatti. I'm like, yeah, they don't own them, brother. California, LA has become a land of lease. They just leasing it to have a look. You go home with them, they got one dish and some paper plates over there. That's about it. I mean, but it wasn't that way when I first came. It wasn't.
Right.
It was cats like you guys who
well,
really
the weather
here's
the best. People want to live here from all over the world. It's just a great. I mean, look, California's the place to live if you want temperate climate. It's good. It's like the Mediterranean, all year round. We have 3 bad months. It's cold right now, but it's usually 9 months of the year. It's really the
I
best
read a thing
weather.
a couple months ago that said there was something like 800,000 people, 800,000+ people leaving California every year, but there was 1.3 million moving in to replace them.
That's
so
crazy.
even though you got all these people that are leaving, it's still getting busier and busier and busier.
Back in the earthquake, 94, 2 million people left. Okay, they're like, there's an earthquake. Everybody's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. So it's cyclic. It's people come and go. They come in and it'll fill up, and then it thins out. It's like then we go, wow, the traffic's better now after the earthquake. Remember, Dave? Like, you can drive. There was no rush hour for about a year and a half. And then
Hey, I remember when they just recently when they closed down the 405 and we did that, and they were talking about Carmageddon. I was like, this is the greatest thing on earth. There's somebody on the street.
Because they were doing
the
overpasses. They were fixing the bridges.
I can get from the valley to Beverly Hills 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it's only 11 miles. Normally take an hour or two, but it's like wow. It's like wow. Yeah, Carmageddon. I remember that.
Carmageddon.
Somebody saying California's got sharks. I love it.
I saw that.
So hey to Alan Walker, Lisa Staley. Who else is in here?
You guys can answer some of those questions over there. Somebody said, "What was your favorite gig?" Somebody asked.
Don Chihoto Iwanda, Joaquin Sugar Mill.
Now, y'all that don't know, y'all talking about the Sugar Mill. Now, originally, the owners of the Sugar Mill wanted me to take over that jam. They wanted me to do Monday night jam, and then on Tuesday or Wednesday do a jam at the Sugar Mill. Yeah. But I told them back then that I was already stressed thin between driving back from Fallbrook to LA, and then a lot of times I was literally coming off tour. If you guys remember, I'd be literally landing at the airport and then come down to do the jam. Right. And it was just too much. And then when we closed the jam down, they offered again, and I was just like, it was too much. And I knew that what's the young man's name? Cadillac Zach was pushing hard trying to get it. I remember that night. It was a couple Mondays before we finally closed down when he was out there papering the cars up and down Ventura Boulevard. And like the Sugar Mill.
Waste a minute.
No, he didn't waste. I was like, damn, man, let the carcass get some flies on it first.
He's been talking about doing a parking lot, a blues like a festival,
a little festival.
Yeah, some type of thing. Yeah, so, but
he's got enough connections now. I mean, everybody comes through there. I mean, I play it once or twice a year just so that the fans in LA, I get to see them. Right. Because people other than that, there's not very many places in LA anymore to play.
Right.
Zach is a great promoter.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And the problem is and the problem now is, you can't squeeze people into a club anymore like that. People are, I don't think people are going to want to be in that kind of environment, unfortunately, which is
not for a while. I think until
not for a while. Yeah. I mean, when we played there with Walter, it was the same thing. It was a surprise gig. The gig wasn't advertised, and John Mayall was there, but it was like you could hardly move in there, and I was like, man, this is dangerous, man.
Think about it. That's because we were on the stage. But see, that's the exact same way, except we were up on the stage.
Right, but that's the things that we miss the most about playing is that hot, sweaty environment, and everybody's grooving and pumping. And it's like, so I'm hoping that at some point we go back to it.
I got the managed board gig from Maui Sugar Mill.
Oh yeah,
and that night, Cal David called me up. He was going down to sit in with Jimmy Vivino and Nate Watts, and I think I can't remember who was on the drums, but anyway, Mayall was playing harmonica, and I didn't know who Mayall was. I thought it was some Australian cat, but it don't matter. Again, I treat everybody the same. So we do the gig. I was supposed to do one song. I think I did 3, sitting in with those guys. I'm standing out front with me and Cal David, and the little Australian guy walks up to me like, "Oh, Mike, you sounded great, Mike. You remind me of the originals, Mike." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks, man." And walks back in, and then Cal is laughing. Cal is laughing at me because he know me. He's laughing. He's like, "Ray, you have no idea who that is." I'm like, "No, I think good harmonica player. All right, He laughing. He said, "That's John Mayall, sugar." And I'm like, I don't know who he is, but I know the name. I've heard that name before. I felt like an idiot later.
So
Like,
great. That's so great.
oh God, that's how I met him. And then Randy Sharkoff was there that night. And then I think 2 days later, or the next day, he called Chuck because Chuck was running the band. He was the MD. He called Chuck, and Chuck called me and said, "Hey man, that Randy dude want to know if you want to do a gig for them, the Managed Boys." I was like, "Who the hell is the Managed Boys?" And that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Again,
they were losing their singers one after the next. They were all passing.
Right, that's kind of how you got into playing in Europe, right?
Yeah.
With the Managed Boys. Yeah.
No, I was playing in Europe before I started coaching.
Really?
Yeah. I originally went to Europe. I went first time with Kizzy's Boys. I took Kizzy's Boys to France. That went really well.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
that. And then the next year, there was a promoter that saw me doing that run with Kizzy's Boys, but they didn't want to bring Kizzy's Boys.
Right.
So that very next year, they brought me over the first time. I was in Europe for like 5 months with a French band called the Flying Saucers Gumbo Special. And so for 3 years in a row, I toured. I would go to France, to Europe for 2 to 4 months. I would be there touring with this French band all over Europe. And that's how I built my name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then it got to a point where people knew who I was over there, and they wanted to see me with the quote unquote the quote unquote the American band. And then I was finally able to bring my band. But when we were doing coaches, a lot of times Chuck knows. A lot of times, literally, I just got off an airplane and drove from the airport to the jam.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wow. I was going to Europe. I was going to Europe like a lot.
And then Randy hired you, and then you went with Kid Ramos and those guys. You did a big show in Spain or something. That was
he hired me, and I'm learning the songs on the plane as I'm flying. I get out, and it wasn't even actually the Managed Boys. They were calling it the Managed Boys, but it was only Kid Ramos and Willie J. Campbell. They had J.R. Lozano, the guy from Lozano from Los Lobos. His son was on drums. And I can't
maybe
remember
Kirk
right
Fletcher
now.
Too. Maybe I don't know.
No, it wasn't Kirk. It was Sean Pittman. Sean Pittman. I don't know if you know Sean. And we're in front of 90,000 people. Wow. No real rehearsal, no nothing. So, but I was like, well, whatever. Here's the song. I hope they know the song. I've learned it, and it went off like gangbusters. And literally on the flight back, Randy's like, "Man, I want to make you a permanent member." And I'm like, we worked out some details, and next thing you know, I was a Managed Boy.
Wow. And he had good cigars. That was the other plus, right?
He did have good cigars. Randy always knew how to skin a cat. He'd have straight Cubans, brother. I used to be like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's great now when we play with Walter, and we're in Europe, and we always see your name either following us or we're following you. So we do the same, a lot of the same clubs and stuff. And you do the cruise ships, don't you? Too.
Well, I've done the blues cruise. I did it once with me and Tommy Castro, once with the Managed Boys, and then this last time here in past November, I did it with my band, which was great. Me, Tab Benoit, and Kidney Wayne Shepherd, and some other cats. Tommy Castro. That was a lot of fun. And then in Europe, I do the German one by my man Jan Thor Lawrenson, JT Lawrenson. They run one that goes from Norway to Germany. It's only 3 days, and they don't call it a cruise ship. It's a ferry, but it's like it holds like 4,000 people. Yeah, it's a cruise ship. Yeah,
we did one. I did one with you. I did one with you from Long Beach.
Oh,
remember
the
that?
Queen Mary thing.
Yeah, the Queen Mary one.
Adams and all
yeah. All right.
Wow, I forgot about that. Wow,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Arthur Adams, us, and there was somebody else.
I don't remember. But all I remember was that the women were just dressed all the time.
Yeah, well,
They're like,
the sisters, a lot
yeah,
of
the
sisters
sisters
came
were
after that.
dressed.
They were clean. they
And I
were
think it
dressed
was. It
clean.
may have been with Kizzy's boys, I think.
I think it was Kizzy.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Kizzy.
And I was sitting in for
It
the
was.
keyboard player. Yeah.
Because we had just put together the All Stars. So y'all did that first run when we went up the West Coast. We did Biscuits. We did the place in Grass Valley. We did that other place that's closed down. I really enjoyed it though. Y'all had all played there before. What city was that? You know what place I'm talking about, Chuck? It's in that little town. It used to be like one of the places where everyone stopped through and played.
The colonel, not the colonel, the captain, something. No, where we
I
stayed
can't
with your
think of the
mom.
name of it. We played there twice, but that was good. And
Yeah.
then we
Where we
went
played
all
with
the
your
way up
mom's
to
house.
Constable Jack's.
Constable Jack. That's it.
Constable Jack.
Yeah.
That was north of Roseville, but north of Sacramento there. It's gone now, but that was a standard. A lot of people played there. Bill Chaplin, Willie Pence, Cold Blood.
So somebody reminded me, Chuck, that we played Sacramento. I guess they were at the show.
You did another show downtown, didn't you, at the Blues Club downtown?
No, but we did with the CK All Stars.
That's right. We did one at the
show.
mall, but there was a
we played one in that club. Remember?
It was downstairs. Remember, Teddy, you were there.
Yeah.
Teddy and Johnny. Maryland or something like that. Was it called Maryland?
Yeah, downstairs. I remember that place.
He said Newcastle.
Newcastle, maybe.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was
Newcastle was where Constable Jack's was, but down we played at the mall in Sacramento downstairs at that blues club called Maryland's. I think it was called. Remember?
Maryland. Damn, you got a good memory, Chuck. That's a good memory.
Yeah, well,
there's three guys up here trying to remember shit.
Yeah. It came to me. We got pictures. We're sitting on the stage together. It was Johnny, Teddy.
Right.
Yeah.
So Sugar, do you have do you have a new record out to tour with, or?
No, right now we released a single. We released Homemade Disaster as a single. The new album is finished. 10 new tracks. I believe, in my personal opinion, better album than the album that I got nominated for the Grammy for. So I'm really excited. I don't think we're gonna release it until January. I know a lot of people have been putting stuff out. My thought has been, with not being able to tour behind the album and the way the industry works now, spending 40, 50 grand to put an album together and put it out there is like spitting in the wind.
Right.
I'm gonna wait till January, even if touring is limited. The only way to promote an album, I mean, the record company is gonna spend 60 grand or whatever in promotion, but you got to get out there and play it, and press the flesh. So we're holding the album till January. I think it's gonna be called Misinformation. Originally, the album was supposed to come out this past year.
Did you do that Horse Latitude? Did you do it at Robbie?
We did it at Horse Latitude
with Eric,
Bobby Keegan's place, with Eric. Eric and Taraz, Sasha Smith. You know Sasha?
Sasha Smith.
Yeah, Sasha, bad keyboard player. Drake is on there. We use my horn, the Amy Winehouse guys for the horns this time. Last time we used the Conan O'Brien guys with Pender and all those guys, but this time we use my horns out of London. And Taz is on there. It's a kick-ass album. Rick Holstrom is playing guitar, and Amon, Rick Holstrom from Mavis Staples and all that. And so it's a kick-ass album. It sounds really good. I'm really, and this time, Eric allowed me to co-write some, so I'm still writing, of course, my own stuff.
Good.
You know how it goes when you're in a record deal. So, but I can't knock it. Got to get it. So, there's not much I can say. I'm in a deal. I'm a paid hoe, but I'm a paid hoe. So that's all good. So,
and last year you were nominated, right?
Nominated for in 2020 or 2019.
It was last year
for a Grammy. Yeah.
For a Grammy, right?
Yeah.
What do you got there?
Last year, baby.
What do you got there? Oh, you got a medallion. Oh yeah. Do you know that my wife works in that committee that gives those out?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's the medallion.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Good for you.
Yeah, I got to get the other thing framed, and then I did this show in LA with me and Robin Ford, and the mayor came down, and the city council came down, and they gave me this. I was very shocked. I'm like, who? I'm nobody. Why are you guys doing this for me? But they came down, and they gave me this, and it was just out of the blue. And I was like, wow, man, that's pretty cool.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, man, that's really, really cool of
You
them.
spell your name right? Good.
Well, see,
Yeah, they
now
actually spell my name right. That's the thing. My name is growing a little bit. People actually spell my name right. That's pretty cool.
That's important.
Yeah, you remember how it used to be, Chuck?
see now, Sugar Ray, you got to stop saying that you're nobody. No, you're somebody.
I am
now.
nobody. No,
You're
I'm always
somebody
be
now.
nobody. No, I'm not.
And you just won Entertainer of the Year, like the Blues.
Yeah, I
right?
won the 2020 BB King Entertainer of the Year,
Yeah, BB
as
King,
well
right.
as the Soul Male Vocalist of the Year.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm nominated again this year, which I don't know if I'm going to win, considering that I didn't really have an album out. But it was nice that the people felt like I should be nominated, so they put me in there. And I want to say congratulations to Bobby Rush and Fantastic Negrito for winning their Grammys night before last. That's the second one. I think it's second one for Bobby Rush. Bobby won under traditional album, of course, and Fantastic Negrito won under contemporary, which is what I was nominated from the year before. And like I told Fantastic Negrito, I said on this, like, congratulations, man, you deserve it, but I'll be there running with you next year. So
yeah, that's what I keep pushing Walter. I go pushing Walter. I goes, man, we gotta go after Sugar. We gotta go after Sugar.
I'm trying to go after y'all.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
You guys have been doing this a long time.
Walter's been doing it.
Who you guys are.
Yeah, Walter's been doing it.
And Walter was really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, did you play on that single that I sang with you guys?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that.
I played. Yeah, that's right. I came in. I came in and played Wurlitzer on that track.
Let me see if I can find it. Keep talking.
Wurlitzer. So Walter's record that we did it, Ordinary Madness, it's called. Did a couple videos, but just as the album was being released, everything got shut down. So he's got this great album that, we're not touring on. We're going to tour. We'll play this off once we're up and running, but he's going to go in May and record a brand new record. So I'm excited about that. Walter's a great guy. He's a good player, good performer, and
salt of the earth.
Him and who's the other good? Eric Gales. They're like
that's my buddy. That's my buddy.
Brothers, those guys. And everybody loves Walter. Walter's got a great history. He's a great guy. Got a good heart, man. Good heart.
He's a survivor. He got through a heavy.
He's been through a lot, man.
Yeah, he's been. He's been looking at his old lady there by his side, fighting like a pit bull. I'm gonna leave you guys on the. I'll be able to hear you. You won't be able to hear me. I want to.
All right.
Okay, so this is the song.
I can see us.
Oh yeah, this is the song that Sugar and me played on. Yeah.
Really dope.
When you tell me you love me, why you won't do me wrong? When you tell me that you love me, why do you stay out all night long? When you get on down to the real nitty-gritty, woman, you just might as well tell me why.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
It's the white one too.
Look at here. Sometimes I wonder, with a map on for my clothes, you've been doing me wrong, trying to throw me a door.
Yeah.
You expect me to love you, baby, love you with my heart and soul. See, a love like mine will never grow. Tell me you love me, why you wanna do me wrong? Tell me, girl. Woman don't lie. 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 Don't you lie. Woman don't lie. Well, if you know you don't love me, please tell me the reason why. Tell me why. Well, when you get on down when they get on down to the real nitty gritty, you wanna do me wrong. Woman don't lie. 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 Don't lie to me. Let's get on down to the real nitty gritty.
Hey, Chuck.
Please tell me the
You know what the song means?
Tell me the reason why. Well, when you tell me you love me, woman, you ain't
Thornburg.
gotta lie.
Yeah.
Woman, don't lie.
There's that scratch. White scratch.
Yeah. That's what he told me in the studio. He said, right here, Jimmy, I want to sing a thing and break up a wiggle of fingers.
See the guitar that's on the album cover? He doesn't even bring that out anymore. He doesn't keep it locked in his house. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's got mold on it and stuff, right?
It's the guitar. Yeah. I've never even seen it.
It's scratch the magic, you know.
Listen to that, man. Woo! There's a lot of air getting moved around, and that's session.
That was fun, man. And
Yeah.
you know what? And before, we already, believe it or not, we already 2 hours in. It goes fast, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
really?
I haven't even gotten to half. That's what I told you guys. I always say, I started this show a long time ago. Said I'm gonna do this from noon to 1. I swear to God, I've had one show that actually lasted 45 minutes. The longest to date I think was Larry Fulcher. Now that was damn near 3 hours. But let me do one more. Let me do one more track here from my cozy days.
Oh my God!
Woman. I used to date some skinny women.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with a
Before you
skinny
let
woman.
us rap about the
I think it's Gary Malaber.
Oprah Winfrey, like, talks about how to wait for the man.
Problem with skinny women is they got too many problems.
That's right. I like the big-legged women.
Hey! You see who's there? That guy used to drive me crazy. The guy on the flute, the flautist, Liam Lee. He's always like, Ray, give me a flute solo. And I'm like, what? And he's always like,
something always hurt, something always wrong. Big girl always ready to go. That's why I keep a salad and duct tape in my bag all the time. I'm ready to ride, baby. Long civil, that's me. I'm gonna get shot in here and people get mad. Don't get mad, it's the blues, baby. You don't mind if I talk to you, do you? I told you I ain't from California.
Go ahead.
California needs song after song after song. I'm gonna talk to you. Is that all right? Now every man in know that's a damn lie. Are you ready? Ladies, are you ready?
too much. I just get my head.
I'm giving you this inside info because I want to save your marriage. I'm just trying to help you out. First thing, chicken sandwich. That's it. Tonight, we on this 17. Lord, I ain't no big star. He'll play the blues tonight. On this 17,000 guitar. Yeah, and all your money died. I will try to baby. I'll play the blues for you. 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 Yeah.
Make that bigger.
Well, you know, Chuck, he got all
Sugar
the
with his
guitar.
Albert King. And Sugar
You
didn't
know-
even buy. You had your coat on. Was that your coat you had on there?
The
You didn't
sweater.
bother to take your coat off.
Sweatshirt, I don't know. We were.
Oh, it was a
we were
sweater.
crazy.
Okay.
We were crazy back then.
There was your
that
rap
rap
was
got a lot of hair in that picture. I almost didn't recognize it.
That's
your
great.
your monologue.
And you
later,
know, a
that
lot of
was
people don't know
totally
that
not
Garrett
PC
Malibu
anymore.
played with Springsteen. You know.
What's that? Chuck?
Oh, I
Go ahead,
said
Chuck.
your conversation later would today not be totally PC at all, politically correct. You know,
Oh yeah.
the women
Yeah,
would be
we-
jumping up and
We were
down.
kind of wild back
Did
then.
you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
I said the exact same thing on the stage now. I'm just being me, so I'm not, you know, I'm not harassing
It
anybody
was
else.
awesome. I
You know?
get such
But-
a kick
but
out
yeah.
of that every time I hear it. It's good.
You know, Chuck, that's funny that you mention that because Sugar always comments about the sampler that I would always, you know, where the white women out. Even that comment is kind of, is pretty sketchy these days. I mean, we all know it because it's what it is. It's from a movie, but we have to be careful these days with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know?
what, man?
I know. I agree. You know,
That
that's
whole thing is very
the
why
climate that we're living in.
comedians today. You know, that's why I love Dave Chappelle and these guys. You know what? If you don't like it, don't come in. I mean, after a while, it gets to a point where it's just it's just ridiculous. You know,
Right.
if I can't speak my mind, I mean,
Right.
why would you want to be around someone who's not speaking their mind? Because then they're not telling you the truth. You don't know who they are.
Exactly.
But, you know,
You're right.
I don't do politics, but I'm just saying, you open that book.
Yeah.
I'm going to be me. If you're not going to like me, I want to make sure you're not liking me for me.
Right.
That's me though.
Yeah, you know what? Back then with me and the samplers, it's everybody got it. You know, everybody. Yeah, everybody understood.
I used
it was
to love
nothing.
it because you just had great time, and it would just come out of nowhere.
I would just put, I would put anything on there, and you know, every once in a while, some girl would go, you know, that was very nice. I go, let me buy you a drink, sweetie, and she, you know, but in this climate nowadays, I mean, my wife works for the Grammys, and they went through a whole big thing this year with that. So the diversity, and you know, so you have to be careful.
You know,
you don't want to offend anybody. We can't afford to offend anybody.
But you can't live life. Being
well, you can't live. Yeah,
someone. Because
right.
I mean, just writing if that's the case, just writing a song or performing, there's always gonna be somebody that's offended. I just live my life the way I live my life, and I'm not out there trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to disparage against anyone.
Right.
So you know, people that come up and say things like that, a lot of times they just have an axe to grind, and you just happen to be the stone that they want to sharpen their axe against.
Right.
So I got to be me, because if you're gonna persecute me as me, not be trying to be PC and fumbling all over my words and everything, and then you're gonna persecute me anyway. But that's me. That's me.
That's why I love that video, because it's a captured moment in time, and it's great.
I want to play the whole thing, but it's just too long. That's why I was skipping ahead.
Oh,
Ahead is I was trying to get to the music side. But
great.
Yeah, y'all should go check that video out. That was wild.
Yeah, it's that, and you know, again, that's what we were talking about. Right behind that cozy sign was the window to Ventura Boulevard. So
the window, and we closed the curtain to help the acoustics. That's
right.
We
The acoustics. That's right. Yeah, before we used to play there when there was no curtain.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I wasn't there then.
Way early on, and then finally, I think it might have been you, Chuck, or BB that told him, you know, you got to do something about deadening in here a little bit, because it was glass.
Yeah.
And it was just like Chuck had an amp that was so fucking loud, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, you know
that amp,
right
man,
there by you. That amp was right there by you.
It's so loud, and it was so stinging, man. You know?
Daddy, were you there that night? Were you there? Because Chuck wouldn't bring out the original stuff, but still the guitars that he would bring out would be like, somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000 guitars.
Yeah.
And do you remember the night he got mad at Slash?
Oh yeah.
Had all these rings.
Yeah,
because
Slash had he would have his big metal wallet chain and
Yeah.
his rings and stuff, and he'd
So,
scratch the back of your guitar. You know,
well, Chuck was
really
talking about
rare
some
guitar.
Chuck was talking about some scratch, and I remember I was looking at it. And I kept looking.
And I'm
And
not
I'm
gonna
like,
let that guy my guitar anymore. He scratches
yeah,
it
but I
up.
remember saying, I don't even see a goddamn scratch. But Chuck like, that's a scratch. That's a
Yeah,
scratch.
he
And I'm
scratched
like,
my
well,
guitar.
why are you bringing $10,000-$12,000 guitars to the
Yeah,
jam? But
yeah,
and Chuck and Slash knew each other for so long.
Yeah.
and
It's all
all
good.
that.
So he, I
And the
don't
great
care.
thing about it is we're still all friends. We still
It's
talk.
Providence now, you know.
Yeah, we
It's-
still talk, and you know, we're all.
I'm just laughing because back then it was new to me. Because I just remember looking at these. I think it was that same Flying B, one of those expensive guitars you bought, and I remember looking at it like, I said to myself, "Where's the scratch?" But Chuck, for y'all that don't know, he's a hell of a guitarist, and the guy's got. I don't even want to say how much money he got into guitars, but there's a lot of money guitars. Chuck, when you open up the guitar case, any guitar case, he's got a vault that he keep all the guitars in.
Yeah.
You open up any case, it has a nice. Each case has its own rag.
Oh yeah.
Each case is humidified for itself.
You got it.
You know.
I'm in it for the long run. You know.
Yeah.
I'm totally OCD with my guitars. Yeah.
How many you got left, Chuck? Do you know?
Oh, I got less. What am I?
I was over there,
collections
Sugar. I was over there. We were jamming a couple weeks ago, and he's got a lot.
I remember
all.
walking in that vault had racks
Yeah,
and racks.
it's like walking into a guitar center.
Yes,
Like
it
walking
is.
into a guitar center. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, it is.
I've been sending out the herd.
Come on, Chuck. How many you got? How many you
I
got,
don't know
Chuck?
at this point. I can't tell you.
he's got a lot.
Secret.
He's got a lot.
Make a guess. Make a guess.
I had up to 70 at one point, and that's nothing compared to some people. Some people have hundreds of guitars. Bonamassa's got 500.
Oh, Bonamassa's got. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
I only have a couple
Still,
of vintage guitars. You know, I only have.
You got rid of a lot of vintage ones.
No, I only had a couple ever. I kind of like. Cliff Jones calls me reissue Chuck because I like to reissue guitars. Yeah.
Reissue Chuck.
Yeah, that's like they make some great guitars. You know.
I remember that Jaguar that we played on you had Gino playing on
Couple songs.
Southside album. Yeah,
that's bunch of rhythm stuff. Gino used my Guild on some. I have a couple of vintage guitars, yeah, and I have an old Strat that I bought in '77. I still got that. But I love Les Pauls and Gibsons, 335s, and I have some Dobros and Nationals and all that stuff. It's all tools for the studio and for live and stuff.
Yeah.
They all get used. Every one of them gets used somehow, you know. Some of them never just bought them not to play them. You know, bought them to play them. You know.
Yeah.
Be like, how many organs you got, Teddy? How many keyboards you got?
You got a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
When I first
how many Hammonds you got? Yeah.
Wait.
I got 2 Hammonds. I got 2.
When I first met Teddy, he used to come to the gig in that goddamn van. And
I used to bring my own Leslie, remember?
I remember that.
Robo Leslie.
I remember you rolled it out. You had that little ramp made and everything.
The ramp, right?
I ain't forget. And I looked at that thing. You had like 2 or 3 B3s or whatever in that thing. A bunch of other keyboards and all that. Like, good Lord, these guys are serious, man.
It's like a guitar player. You know, you see something, you go, "Ooh, that would be nice to have," and then you find where you can get one, less expensive. But yeah, I'm still buying them. I have 3 regular B3s, 3 regular, B3. I have a collapsible one that used to belong to Mark Stein of Vanilla Fudge. Then I have I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? There's one there. There's one B3 right there. That's a Hammond XK2. And I have a XK3. I've got a lot of organs, a lot of keyboards.
Teddy, is that Hammond warmed up? Is it on?
I only play it. It's just my office, so I only play it with headphones on.
I was going to ask you to play a little something before we go, but
you know what? I can't. It's everything's all over the place.
No worries. Chuck, can we look at the studio?
Yeah, look at it. I'm in front of it. There we go. There's the console.
Give us a whole view of that console so people can see the size of it. This is not a digital console. This is the old school.
This is
Trident
Trident 80 '78 is when it hit town. It was in location recording services, and then some producers, Pat Leonard and Michael Burdick, bought it, and Goose Newton did her Queen of Hearts on this. Madonna did Close Range. David did
I didn't know that.
David did a bunch of records with Winona Judd and
Wow.
whole bunch of them. What's his name? Kenny Loggins did Pooh Corner on his record. Anyhow,
Sugar Ray
it's called
did Blind Alley.
the TSM.
Sugar Ray did
Blind
Blind
Alley.
Alley and Southside on that console.
Right. We did more records with you than people. This girl's asking on some of the things. She goes, "How come we don't produce Sugar anymore?" Well, we did 5 albums together here. We did
5 albums,
about 5 plus Trunk Full of Blues. But the reason that is Eric is his producer now and label, so he's doing the songs there. And maybe he'll come here. Who knows? But
always
studios are getting far and few between these days. As far as like what they can do and who's got them.
It would be fun. It would be fun to get like the old guys back together and do like something like one track.
Let's do that. Let's have
like one track
do that
at your place.
The Black Greeks and Sugar and whoever.
The Black Greeks and Sugar, right? Yeah.
Right.
We should do that, man. We should do that. I'd be on board.
As soon as it opens up, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey guys, we got Chuck Kavooras, Teddy Zigzag, 2 guys that made pretty much everything that's happened after coming to LA possible. Before we go, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask them? And these guys, they've seen it all, they've done it all, and they're great guys and unbelievable musicians. So before we even go anywhere, so Chuck and Teddy, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. The Black Greeks.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you guys, folks out there in Viewland, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Send your questions in, and we'll see if we can get them to answer if you have a question. I want to say thank you to Eric Sassman, to my management, Stephanie Gonzalez at Apropos Management, my media team. I want to say thank you to Magicians Media for always having my back. Bunny Breaker, a.k.a. Glenda the Good Witch. Of course, Eric Sassaman over there running the website, YouTube, all that good stuff. The Wizard of Oz. Can you dig it? I want to say thank you to my booking agency, UTA, and the Mint. I appreciate all of that. So I got all the business side out. So send in your questions if you got a question. Okay. Barbara Ryan. Barbara says, thank you. What a fun show.
Evelyn Hayes gave us some nice comments. We're like
fun show.
We see her all the time. Yeah.
If she thinks this is a fun show, she should see us live.
Yeah. Well, she's seen my band. Like she runs the C Note out in Hall, Massachusetts. Great venue.
Okay.
Kind of reminds you of Cozy's a little bit, except for when you walk out the front door, the ocean is in front of you. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Sometimes when we used to play together, Chuck, when we played with Sugar and stuff, we would make ourselves laugh at what was going on stage. We would just be so happy, as Sugar would be doing his thing, and we'd be in the back backing him up, just cracking up, going, "This is the best,"
A lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, a lot of shenanigans. Where we keep that blues pumping up though.
We see stuff that
we always had
we always had a good time. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have a good time. You got to stop. Don't do it if you can't have a good time.
Yeah. Right.
Becomes like.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out on the road there, Sugar. When we all get back to work. Yeah.
You too, man. I know we will.
Yeah, I know. We'll all. It'll be great.
Hey, does Walter ever play the Americana Fest?
He plays everywhere. I mean, like I said, I've only been in the band about 2 years now. But
Sugar asked us, what was the first live show you went to see when you were young? They're asking you guys.
Asking at me? Oh, I
said
saw
it earlier. I told you who I saw earlier. But how about you, Teddy?
You know what? One of the first shows I saw the $1 Billion Baby tour with Alice Cooper, and who would have known that 30 years later I'd be in that band. But I saw Elton John on his first tour, the Your Song album, with the trio.
Really?
Nigel Olsson and Dee Murray, just a trio, piano, bass, and drums at the Fillmore East.
Wow!
Unbelievable, unfriggin' believable.
What year?
Fillmore, what was the Fillmore East?
Fillmore East was a music hall. like
No, I know, but where?
in New York City, and there was one in San Francisco. I
Yeah,
saw.
I've been to the one, played the one in San Francisco.
Yeah,
West.
San Francisco. There
right,
was
right, right down from the Boom Boom Room. I played the Boom Boom Room first, and then went up. But yeah,
right. They had one that Bill Graham ran them, the one in New York. But I saw the last show at the Fillmore East in New York with Edgar Winter, White Trash, Edgar Winter's White Trash,
There's a band.
Albert King, and then the closing act was BB King. When I left there, I had the blues.
Wow,
It was unbelievable.
I remember Chuck telling me a story about the Golden Bear one night where it had Freddie King, BB King, and Albert King, and they all played, and the ticket was only like $10.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's crazy.
Tell me about that, Chuck.
That's crazy.
I opened for Albert King twice in Sacramento, and Freddie King.
Chuck, tell them your story. Come on. When we met,
Albert?
when we met at the
Albert Collins.
At the Palomino.
Oh, well,
Albert Collins.
Teddy and I go to see Albert Collins. I think Debbie Davis was playing with him that night. Maybe playing with him, and we meet him. We wait in line to meet him, and I say, "Hey, Albert's been, you're a big hero of mine, a big inspiration." And what did he say to me, Ted?
He goes, "Thank you, young man."
I'm 45 years old.
Here we are, 40 years later. We're still talking about that. Thank you, young man.
we opened for him in Tahoe. We played with him a bunch. Norm Harris had some shows down by the Grumman's Theater when there was a Norm Harris store there, Norm's Guitars in Hollywood. He would have Albert Collins come. He was a big
that guy
supporter.
boy.
Yeah,
razor, like a razor. That guitar sound, man. Oof.
Yeah,
amazing.
Wow.
Master of the Telecaster.
Yeah.
We gonna have to get out of here. My question. I'll start with you, Teddy.
Yes.
Who was your influence? What made you want to go and play keys and harmonica? Because people don't know you're a really good harmonica player, also.
I've there's a lot of good harmonica players out there, but yeah, I like playing harmonica. I'm one of those guys that I'm always going, as you can tell. Say here, I want to learn how to play this next. I want to play. I just started playing. I'm an accordion guy, so I just started playing. And when I get bored with something, I go, "Oh, guitar. I'll play guitar. I'm gonna teach myself guitar." But I think what made me was the organ was Felix Cavalier from the Young Rascals.
Okay.
That guy, and Mark Stein of Vanilla Fudge, Jimmy Smith.
Well, Jimmy lived in L.A., right?
He had a club on Victory Boulevard.
Yeah, he had a club
on Victory Boulevard, right where Holiday Spa was. Right in the middle there. And I went there with Stanley Behrens one night. The organ was in the center of the club, and it's Jimmy Smith's club, and it's like
off of Washington, yeah. But those are the people that inspired me. I love Tom Waits. I love that kind of singer songwriter. Carole King, of course. When I obviously got a chance to play with her, I was like, But those are the guys from my young age. Seeing guys like Felix play organ, and Mark Stein, and actually the funny thing is, now they're my friends. I can call them. Now I know them. It's the weirdest thing to me. I actually own Mark Stein's organ from Vanilla Fudge.
So crazy,
it was for sale like 20
Yeah.
years ago. I went to his house in Woodland Hills, and he made me dinner. Him and his wife made me dinner, and I bought his gear. I bought his whole rig. It's the organ with the two Leslies in case. I still have it. I still have it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Tim Bogart was a dear friend of mine.
Tim Bogart was in that, right?
We got him to play with us quite a bit. Tim was awesome.
Yeah, Tim will come in on Monday nights and play as well as he played on the album. All right, Chuck, same question to you. Who were your influences?
My influences? Well, obviously, I'm from the era where we saw the Beatles live, but we already played R&B and the Stones, and I was in the Midwest. We were big on rhythm and blues, so I love Steve Cropper, Booker T. The first time I heard Hip Hugger, I was like, "Oh my God, this is that guitar,"
Yeah.
And then everything kind of fell into place because the Beatles promoted the English Invasion, and like I said, I saw the Yardbirds, and I was blessed. I've seen everybody pretty much. I mean, I've been really lucky to see so many of my heroes, and like in Oklahoma, seeing Mitch Ryder, Detroit Wheels, Jimmy McCarty was blow my mind. It was 5 nights in a row I saw him, and
That guy
he's
was
the reason
amazing.
Ted Nugent plays at Birdland because of Jimmy, and then Jimmy was in Cactus and 20 Miles Express, and so I saw those guys, and then in Sacramento I saw Vanilla Fudge. First concert I saw was Vanilla Fudge, and then fast forward to '77, and we're playing a club in West Valley here, Antique Mirror, up at Chatsworth, and the owner says, "Hey, a rock star is going to come in and sing with you guys. Is that cool?" I said, "Well, sure. Who is it?" There's Tim Bogert, Vanilla Fudge, and then Tim comes in and he's all like a biker. He's got the biker clothes on. This is '77, and I meet him, and he's like, "Wow." And I said, I saw you in concert 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, '67, whatever." And he goes, "Great." He says, "What do you want to play?" And I said, "How about a Freddie King song?" Nobody was doing it then. It was going down. It was brand new with, on the Leon Russell Freddie King production record. And he goes, "I know that song. I can sing it." And then from then on, we were
Right.
friends, and we hooked up again later in years. And I got to say goodbye to him before he passed.
Yeah.
So that was
We all
great.
got a chance to play with Tim, in some band, some form of a band. He was really available to play, so it was really
If
nice.
you played bass in the '60s and '70s, he was a big part of your life because he broke some new ground that a lot of guys weren't doing. And
Right.
what a showman! And he would just upstage Jeff Beck even sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I saw those guys and Cream and Hendrix and just some. I saw everybody. I mean, I went to the Fillmore West with my friends, and we saw Santana and just a bunch of people.
I'm really. You saw Hendrix twice.
Twice, yeah.
Wow.
Saw him in Sacramento. I saw him twice.
I always used to give Tim a hard time because I would bring up that picture. I took a picture of him with that gold Malay suit on with the fucking cape. And so he's like, "I was wild in my young days, Sugar. I was wild in my young days." I'm like,
Hey, Sugar, let me ask you, you who are your influences? You were a gospel guy, right? Roots in gospel.
Yeah,
right?
well, I grew up in old gospel, so I started. Mine was mass choirs. We did mass choirs, so like people like the Mississippi Mass Choir, the Georgia Mass Choir. It was later in my gospel time before I joined the Marine Corps when I started listening to like the I don't know what you call it, like quartets or sentets or whatever it was. And so then I got to hearing people like the Jackson Southerners, the Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Mighty Clouds of Joy. Right.
And and then I was really shocked when I actually got opportunities to work with those guys.
Wow.
But then I got pretty high up in the gospel world, but I got kind of dismayed that it was more about business. That my experience was it was more about business than it was about uplifting people's spirit, and that's kind of what made me lead music and was the final push when I joined the Marine Corps. And until I met Pam, I didn't play music. So we're talking about somewhere between 16 to 20 years that I did not play drums or keyboards. I play a little keyboards.
Right.
But I didn't do any of that. Pam was the one, and I was bouncing at a rock bar when I met Pam, and one night.
So you never really studied the blues guys. You were more of a gospel guy. That says something. Man.
I had heard. The only blues I had heard was my uncle in his truck, Chevy S10 Stepside. I remember that 8-track. He would come up playing like ZZ Hill, because old school black.
Right.
So he played ZZ Hill. And once in a while you hear some Tyrone Davis, but it was later that I figured out who these people were. I remember the songs from playing, but for me it was literally all gospel. I mean, I heard soul music and stuff, but it really wasn't into it at all. It was strictly. I mean, I was in church 7 days a week. I had my own choir with 300 some choir members, and my headphones are about to die. And so yeah, that was my influence.
That's why it's special for you, because you don't really copy any blues guy. You are your own. You're a unique character. It's because you never studied them. I never knew that. So that's
I just
did later. I mean, after Cozy, after Sugar plugged in, he plugged into everybody. He knows all the little Milton songbook,
right,
Bobby Blue Bland, and other obscure people too. Not just
right. Yeah. My whole thing was always, and it still has been, trying to connect with the song and connect the people in front of me with the song. So, I've always said a melody is a melody is a melody. If you are a singer or quote unquote entertainer, I consider myself an entertainer. I'm an okay singer. I just try to connect with the song. So, but that comes out of what we did with gospel. I mean, our job in gospel was to uplift the preacher. The the church. We always tell people like, oh, church say you don't have a successful church unless you have a really, really good preacher and a really, really good choir. If you got those two things when I was growing up, then you had a successful church because people wanted to come hear great choirs and great singers and blah blah. Like they wanted so, but you had to learn to project the emotions of the song to the people. And in church, that is a big thing. Because there's a lot of people who could get up and sing, and even when you was playing, it was the same way. We always said, having the anointing. Some people, when they played, they would just rip a church apart. They could just dial into whatever that unseen thing was and talk directly to people's souls. So I've tried to do that playing circular music, is try to connect with the song, have fun, and get people to release their inhibitions and dig what I'm saying. I tell people all the time, for me, the biggest thing is songs are words, and those words have meaning. And not saying anything against the guitar, not saying anything against the keyboards, harmonica, but if you don't have a singer that can actually, it's like spoken word for music. If you don't have a front man who can really get what's being said on those pages, words across, there's some people in the audience who are going to love keyboards, and some people are going to love the drummer, some people are going to love guitars, but all of them understand the words that you're saying. So it is my job to make sure that the story that's been told is actually told with dignity and realness to the song. So all that's getting technical, but that's what I always try to do.
Well,
and try to have a little fun with it.
You do a good job of it, and it shows, and you're being rewarded.
Listen, this isn't about me. I brought this to come on because I wanted people to know you guys.
Really?
Yes, not about me. The Sugar Shack is not about me. But I wanted people to know where I came from and the people that helped me get to where I am now. And that's why
the big lesson here is the song is the most important thing. Without the song, none of us can do anything. So the song, we have to serve the song.
And remember, Chuck, you used to always tell me you used to always tell me that. You remember when we recorded? I don't know if it was. I think it was Slow Motion on the album.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love that.
And my headphones about to die, but tell everybody that story, and then we're gonna go.
Okay. Oh, Slow Motion. That was a great song, and we were 3:00 in the morning, and the band and the console and me and everybody's playing live together, and it sounded just like a record while we were doing it. We were like, okay, let's go, and everybody was just electric together. And you sang this thing, you sang the shit out of it, and it was so good. There was a little bit of lyric mistakes or so. It didn't matter because all that mattered was the song was just riveting. And it's like we tried to go back and fix it. It never could do it better because the song was the best part about the whole thing. We served the song. The band was in tune, and it's really what I think is at this point in my life. Nothing matters to me more than the song, because that's what we're here for: is to entertain people, play music for people. And it's not just about being in your bedroom playing. Oh, that's great too. But we're here to play. I mean, you got to play for people. And without people, there is no music. I mean, what is it? It's just it's like we just all sit around type or something. But we play music, and that's what it's for. It's for the songs. People write great songs. The Grammys is about songs. Everything everything we love and grew up doing. This girl's saying, "What do you think of the Rolling Stones influenced the blues?" Well, without them, us white kids never would have probably heard about them. They brought everybody over with the British invasion. They made sure Howlin' Wolf was on Shindig. They made sure different people. Those guys are one of the biggest channels that helped us reinvent or rediscover the blues. Is what I meant. But it's
and nowadays there's
that's my whole thing. Sugar singing. The vocal is so important, and being a great singer helps deliver the song is key. I mean, we can all like what we do guitar wise and quick keyboard, but really it's about the song. It really is.
Right. I always say funny. That when people bring me in to do a session on keyboards, and I go, I say I'd be happy to take my part out because it's this vocal that's more important. I don't need to play over this. I want to hear the singer. So it's all I believe that's becoming a lost art though. Yeah. They put so much into the production and into That's why
side.
it's up to you, Sugar, to carry that torch, man. It's up to you. It's on your shoulders, my man.
You trying to throw me out there.
It's on your shoulders.
What I will remember is when we recorded Southside, it was that, you know, Ralph and I worked for a long time writing those songs. And when we did slow motion, none of the songs that are in slow motion are the lyrics. That was just me singing off the top of my head while the band was laying down tracks. So I was just making up stuff off the top of my head while the band was laying down these tracks, and then later we were gonna go and I'd do my part and actually sing the song.
Right.
And you know, Chuck brought all the lights in the studio down to like 0, and it was just a vibe. So I started singing, and you know, my brain is very active. So you know, I made up all these lyrics, and we got done, and the band played to what I was singing. So they had the emotion, the blah blah. So when we got done, it was like, okay, Chuck, now we got to go back and do the actual lyrics. We got 2 pages of lyrics that those Rap and I spent months of writing, and it never felt as good as
the moment.
just making up off top at the moment. And thank God, Chuck is great, a good.
And I just lost both.
Give me a second.
What was it?
Okay, my headphones died.
Oh,
Uh,
so you sound like Darth Vader for a second. It was great.
Wow.
Thank God, Chuck is a good enough engineer that a lot of guys don't do this today. That he still recorded my voice, even though I wasn't in the booth or anything. I was just in the just singing.
Press the red button. You always got to press the red button.
Capture it. You got to get it. Yeah. It's important.
All right. Well, guys,
all right, man.
Okay, Sugar.
I didn't mean to hold y'all this long, but
No,
I knew
it's all right.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it.
Well, we have a lot to talk. We have a lot to talk about.
I got to get you guys back because we have a lot of stuff that we didn't get a chance to even get into. So, but from the bottom of my heart, you two, really.
Thank you. It's an honor, Sugar. Thank you for having us on, man. Appreciate it.
Same here, man.
Thank you, guys.
Sugar, we should get. You know what? And in your next record, let's do something at Chuck's. Let's get together and put the band together. Put the old guys together.
Well, I got one more. I have one more album under the contract, but after that, you know, we can still do something and then have it ready to go for later.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
All right, guys. I love you guys.
You're the man. Love you, Sugar. Take care, my man.
You guys too.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. This is Sugar Raiders, another section of the Sugar Shack with Teddy Zigzag Andreadis, my good man Chuck Kavooras. And before I leave, as always, please, everyone, please be good to one another. Peace. Long live and prosper.